the pursuit of perfection. Last season, Virginia Tech came up one victory short. This year, behind the magical Michael Vick, the Hokies are on the precipice yet again.
Big and open field. Cuts back, Bob. Shoot, dive, spinning, end zone, touchdown. Here comes a Pittsburgh blitz. Look out, Mike. Vick is not getting up after this one.
Last week, Vick went down, but the Hokies were hardly out, displaying a champion's medal. Virginia Tech rallied for a victory that kept them a perfect 8-0. No longer satisfied with merely wearing the mantle of conference champions, the Hokies' focus is pointed directly at another run at the national title. Miami knows national titles, winning 4 in a 9-year span. Now, after suffering through the ravages of probation, they are once again raising Cain on the national scene. Virginia Tech, Miami. At stake, the Big East title and a chance to stay alive in the race for the national championship. We welcome you to the Home Depot College Football on CBS. A fine one today. The Virginia Tech Hokies come to town to take on the Hurricanes of Miami. It is hard to imagine for those of us inside the Orange Bowl that some folks in South Florida don't care about what goes on here. But the lucky few who have tickets. They have gathered in large numbers. Some of them only semi-drafts who've made the trip down from Blacksburg. Others appropriately hirsute in orange and green as they come inside the Orange Bowl for one of the classic games of this year 2000 season. The Hokies of Virginia Tech. And here come the Hurricanes of Miami. From Blacksburg and Virginia Tech. A look at this week's Bowl Championship Series standings helps underline the significance of this game. Currently, Virginia Tech ranks second, Miami is fifth. They are playing for the Big East title, but more significantly, these two teams are playing for a chance to play in the national championship game. Those standings to be released in early December. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bert Lundquist. We welcome you to the Orange Bowl. Appropriate, is it not, that this ancient old stadium, which reverberates with so many echoes of classic games played here over the past 70 years, should serve as a site for a game of this magnitude. The big question this week, how is Michael Vick, the All-American quarterback from Virginia Tech? He was injured on this play late in the first half against Pittsburgh last Saturday. He has been hobbled for much of this week. And for the latest on his status, let's go down live now to Jill Arrington, who is with Coach Frank Beamer.
Coach Beamer, the question everyone's been asking, will Michael Vick start the game today?
No, we're going to start Dave Meyer. We think that Michael Vick can play. We'll see here in a few minutes.
So you think he might get some playing time?
I think so.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Back to you guys.
All right, Jill, thank you very much. I'm joined, as always, by Todd Blackledge. We think Michael Vick will be in, but it does leave it on the shoulders of a fifth-year senior, Dave Meyer.
Well, you mentioned he's a fifth-year senior. He's got experience in the system. The players like him. He's well-respected. He's a leader. And let's face it, he's been waiting his whole career for a game like this. This is his third career start. Filled in beautifully last week against Pitt. Led his team back for victory. But even though he has to play well, it's not the only key for Virginia Tech winning the football game. I think when you look at what the Hokies have to do to have a chance to win, it starts up front. Their offensive line must take charge of the game. They're an experienced group. They're athletic. They have to establish the Virginia Tech running game. Next, they've got to play Beamer ball. They've got to do something special in the kicking game. Already this year, they've blocked 8 kicks, and they've returned 3 punts for a touchdown. And third, they must limit Miami's big plays. This is the most explosive team on their schedule, but they must make Ken Dorsey and the offense execute and earn anything they get.
Well, Miami comes in with a 6-1 mark. They had a huge victory here earlier against Florida State, but they have lost 5 in a row to Virginia Tech. What's on their platter today?
Well, if you want to point to one thing or one reason why they've lost 5 in a row, it's turnovers. They've not protected the football. Since 1995, Miami has had 15 turnovers, Virginia Tech only 3. Last year was a perfect example in the game in Blacksburg. Miami was in control of the game, winning 10-0. This Clinton Portis fumble was recovered and set up Virginia Tech's first touchdown in the first quarter. Then a Kenny Kelly interception led to Virginia Tech's go-ahead touchdown. And then in the fourth quarter, the wheels came off for Miami. Corey Moore strips Portis. It's picked up by Ike Charlton, who runs 51 yards for a touchdown, and the route was on in Blacksburg. If Miami hopes to win the game today, they must protect the football.
A sellout crowd, and on the sideline, Michael Vick, redshirt sophomore quarterback, All-American, Heisman candidate, injured late last week. And a near-perfect early November afternoon, temperature in the upper 70s, mostly cloudy skies, but a very pleasant day and a slight breeze out of the northwest at 7 miles per hour. This only the 18th time these two teams have played. Miami won the first 12. Virginia Tech has won the last 5. And it's the first time in Big East history, a league which began in 1991, that two teams ranked in the top 5 have played. Miami won the toss and has deferred the option to the second half. That means Todd Sievers will kick it deep to Andre Kendrick, number 4, who on the season has an average of just under 20 yards. And for Sievers, 16 of his last 41 kickoffs have been touchbacks. Came all the way from Ankeny, Iowa to play in games such as this. Nice and high, taken 3 yards deep, and Kendrick will take a knee. So Dave Meyer, who turns 23 on the 14th of November, starts for only the 3rd time in his career. He had 1 start against Pittsburgh in 1998, 1 start against University of Alabama at Birmingham last year. They pale in importance compared to this one.
And those were both home games. This is his first start on the road against the best opponent he's ever faced. But he is a mature kid, and he throws the football pretty well.
Play fake, flip it out left side, caught by Emmett Johnson, number 18. Big run. He's still loose. Edward Reed finally tackles him up at the 48-yard line. A gain of 28 on 1st and 10.
Right away, a quick pass to get your quarterback in the game, and an excellent block by the left tackle, Anthony Lambo, who got out in front of Emmett Johnson. Watch the quick screen to Johnson. Now watch Lambo come from the left side of your screen. I told you this offensive line is athletic. The left tackle out there gets the block, and a big play to start the game for the Hokies.
Andre Davis is also on the field. He missed last week's game and was injured against Syracuse. Ernest Wilford is also the other wide receiver. A handoff to Lee Suggs, spins across the 50 down at the 48-yard line. Let's check this Virginia Tech offense, which will try and provide blocking help for Lee Suggs today. Up front, 4 of these guys are seniors. Lambo, Lair, Redding, and Cadella. Steve DeMassey is the center. This is the 20th consecutive regular season start for those 4. Suggs and Ferguson. Andre Davis will start with a high ankle sprain. Emmett Johnson, the tight end, is Bob Slakowski.
A lot of great collisions today between Jarrett Ferguson and Dan Morgan of Miami.
Second down. Another play fake for Meyer. He'll scramble. Not far. That is where you miss Michael Vick. And the Miami defense. Up front, it's Jamal Green, William Joseph, Damian Lewis, and Cornelius Green. The linebackers anchored by the All-American Dan Morgan, who this year will become the all-time leading tackler in Miami history. Campbell and Clark flank him. A very good secondary. Myers, Blades, Edward Reed, and Mike Rump.
Key battle right here all day. Virginia Tech, the best in the conference in 3rd down conversion, and Miami, the best on 3rd down defense.
No blitz. Good protection. Meyer deep too high. Intended for Browning Wynn, his tight end, and the Hokies will have to punt. Edward Reed was defending. Now, this is not a particularly strong part of the Virginia Tech game, their punting unit. Robert Peasley is the punter, and Santana Moss, 5 career punt returns for touchdowns, 3 this season.
He's on a real roll, and even if you don't get a great punt, you better cover with great execution and great discipline.
Beasley, high and very short. Very short. His net for the season just over 32 yards. This one was 11 yards. Early break for the Miami Hurricanes.
You have a nice smell coming off you.
That's my perfume.
Nikki and Valerie had a match made in heaven
It's better than the July.
until she found out he was from hell.
Am I supposed to not be freaked out right now? Because I am.
Adam Sandler.
I can't stop thinking about Valerie.
I was in love once, but she said I wasn't financially reliable.
Now by she, do you mean he?
No.
Busted!
Nikki, rated PG-13, starts Friday, November 10th.
Need sports equipment? Go to MVP.com. All the best gear, all the best brands, and insight to help you play your best. And right now, get free shipping on any Major League Baseball or World Series gear. MVP.com. Gear up for sport.
I love this thing. I can wash it out.
After his girlfriend gave him a Norelco Quattro action, no one could escape Phil's enthusiasm.
Here, give it a feel.
The Norelco Quattro action has satisfied 99% of the guys who've tried it. Norelco, put it to the test.
For dry, red eyes, clear eyes is a hit. It removes redness and has an ingredient to moisturize. Wow. The difference is clear. Clear eyes.
While every cop in D.C. is backing up the FBI, a serial killer makes his move.
Anything out of the ordinary, he's going to start shooting.
The District, on CBS tonight.
Back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, first quarter, first possession for Ken Dorsey, the sophomore quarterback from Orinda, California, by way of Miramonte High School. 6'5", 195, had a brilliant start to this season. Has not been terribly effective the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, has been a little bit out of rhythm the last 2 weeks. And boy, when he was against the Seminoles when we were here, he was in rhythm.
Last punt officially now credited with 12 yards. On first down, the handoff to James Jackson. Najee Davenport, number 4, is starting in place of D.J. Williams at the fullback spot, and he leads the block. Let's check the Miami offense. Up front, it's McKinney, who's having an All-American season at left tackle. LaFleur, Romberg, Bibla, and Joaquin Gonzalez. James Jackson, Najee Davenport. The wideouts, the veterans, Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss. And at tight end, it is Ivan Mercer, number 86. Second down and 8. 2 wide receivers left side. They hand it off. Jackson weaves over right guard across the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. And we'll check this Virginia Tech Hokie defense. Up front, Cobb, Beasley, David Pugh having a very good year. Nathaniel Adidi at one defensive end. Philip Summers gets the start. He'll alternate with Nick Sorensen today. Housewright and Ben Taylor, number 40. And the secondary, and they might be weak on the corners. Ronyo Whitaker and Eric Green, numbers 2 and 1. And the safeties are Willie Pyle and Corey Bird, who might be the best player on defense. Here's Dorsey flipping it out to Jackson, one-on-one in the corner. He gets across the 45, close to first down yardage. But I'm not sure he got enough.
You mentioned Corey Bird. That's That's who is out there on the flank with James Jackson. And Corey Bird is a terrific football player. I mean, he is great against the run. He's great against the pass. And the way Virginia Tech likes to play, they like to keep 8 guys around the football to defend against the run, but you have to have the speed enough as a linebacker or a strong safety like Corey Bird is to get out underneath on pass coverage. And he has certainly been an outstanding performer for this Hokie defense. Can do a lot of things.
And Butch Davis is right there. Yeah, first down. So he had no decision to make. Well, we mentioned Ken Dorsey's quick start this year. Really had a brilliant start, particularly protecting the ball. He had only 1 interception in a streak of 155, but last week 3 interceptions. He also had a couple of fumbles in the last couple of games.
Yeah, 193 passes in a row without an interception, and now 4 in his last 38 attempts. But again, it's rhythm. And the last couple of weeks, Miami has focused more on the running game, and it's taken him out of his rhythm a little bit.
From the 47th, first and 10. Jackson, good block from Davenport, and a good block from Joaquin Gonzalez. He gets across the 50 into the arms of Corey Bird, number 16. And Ben Taylor, who is the leading tackler for this Hokie defense. Talked about Dorsey slipping the last couple of weeks. It's just the reverse with James Jackson, who has really come on the last 3 games, the running back.
Really has played well. 185 yards rushing last week against Louisiana Tech. And again, a renewed emphasis on the running game for Miami. They got Clinton Portis back off the foot injury also last week. But James Jackson the last couple of weeks really playing well.
Second and 6. Jackson gets the handoff. Gets a block from Davenport. He has a first down at the 42-yard line of Virginia Tech, met by Ben Taylor.
One of the things that Ken Dorsey told us yesterday is that Virginia Tech likes to move a lot. They like to try to stem and catch you on the right time. This time, Miami caught them in the stem at the right time. Nice block by Bryant McKinney, able to cave in that side of the defense. Good use of the snap count to catch Virginia Tech moving on defense and run it right by him.
Bud Foster, defensive coordinator, had to refashion his defensive unit this year. They lost 8 starters after that second place finish in the national title game in '99. Play fake, Dorsey looking left, settling deep down the middle. Santana Moss, touchdown Miami. Perfect start for Miami.
Vern, I talked about limiting Miami's big plays. Don't give up the easy plays. This was too easy for Ken Dorsey. You run, then play action, and running down the middle of your defense wide open is Santana Moss. A bust in the coverage and a big play for the Hurricanes.
Todd Severs with the extra point is up and good. Surprisingly, that is only the 2nd touchdown catch of the year for Santana Moss. But it comes on the opening play of the game.
With more of the hottest new releases guaranteed, nobody brings home the magic of the movies like Blockbuster.
Rent Frequency this week at Blockbuster. A voice from the...
A lot of emotion, mood, especially watching Michigan State march up the field. And the crowd here, 90...
Chipper Jones to left field, put rookie Wes Helms at third, and go after Cubs free agent Mark Grace to take over at first, all in a roster makeover. Hey, in qualifying yesterday in Phoenix for Sunday's Duralube 500, and Rusty Wallace in the Miller Lite Ford, a speed of 134.178 miles per hour, shatters the track record. He grabs the pole, his 9th pole of the year. Jeff Burton qualified second. And don't forget, coming up today at 12:30 right here on Channel 2, we'll have a preview of the upcoming Napa 500. Our NASCAR special today at 12:30. Hope you'll be here for us at that. And also join Bill Hartman tonight at 11 on Action News.
Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Blockbuster, the United States Army, Gateway, and by Mercedes-Benz.
Ken Dorsey finds Santana Moss for 42 yards in the first touchdown of the afternoon. Miami 7-zip, 10:29 to go. And Todd Sievers will kick off again. Andre Kendrick is the deep man. Booms it.
Well, let's go back to the touchdown. A little miscommunication between the corner, Eric Green, who is right here, and the free safety, Willie Pyle. Now, Corey Bird is going to cover underneath. Those other two have to decide who's going to take who in their zone. The free safety kind of bit on a little hesitation by Santana Moss, and a nice throw and read by Ken Dorsey. But a miscommunication between the safety, Willie Pyle, and Eric Green led to the touchdown.
Just a brief glimpse at that stat that shows his average per touchdown catch at over 41 yards per play. Here's Lee Suggs bolting over left tackle and moving it out to the 29-yard line. Our aerial views today, courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Goodyear providing aerial coverage of the world sporting events for more than 75 years. Suggs with a 9-yard gain, second down and 1 at the 29.
One of the things Virginia Tech has done really well all year is gain yards on first down. They've averaged nearly 6 yards every time they run a play on first down.
Ernest Wilford in motion, number 19. Suggs again, met by Al Blades, among others. Well, that still should be enough to move the chain. There's Blades, youngest of 3 brothers, Brian and Benny, of course, who starred here in the 80s in those national championship years.
You mentioned the secondary might be as good as anybody in the country. They've played so many games together. I mean, the two safeties have 57 starts together between Al Blades and Edward Reed. Both corners have started over 20 games in their career. So a very experienced defensive secondary for the Hurricanes.
First and 10, Virginia Tech, just across the 30. Nickel back in. Here's the option play. Dave Meyer is nailed for a loss back to the 25. Jamal Green, number 55.
Well, I didn't run much option when I played quarterback, Vern, but I did learn that if you hesitate, you're in trouble when you run the option. You got to make a quick decision. Dave Meyer made a good decision not to cause a turnover, but he probably should have pitched that ball early and let Suggs run the football.
Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator at Miami. Second down and 14. They keep it inside to Ferguson, and he lumbers out near the 35. Al Blades makes the tackle. Jared Ferguson, the redshirt junior.
You know, this is an effective play for Virginia Tech because they run the toss sweep out of the eye so much and so effectively. Whenever you see that quarterback turn and fake like he's pitching the football, you react as a defense, and they're able to slip it into Ferguson. They scored a touchdown against Pitt last week with that same play. It's a very effective off play for them.
Third and 6, Andre Davis, hobbled by a high ankle sprain, comes wide to the right. Buchanan guards him. Here's the waggle play. Meyer goes deep and overthrows Emmett Johnson. And it will be fourth down. Mixed up between Johnson and Meyer on the route. Santana Moss told us yesterday that he expects his team to have a big game. Well, as he said, if they pick up the blitz, we're going to have a really big game. And, of course, he can hurt you in so many ways, not the least of which is right now. Here's Peasley. End over end punt. That will bounce.
It hit a Hurricane.
Yes, it did. Edward Reed had it slip through his hands and had to go back and pick it up.
And Peasley right now is just trying to survive. I mean, he was shaky with the 12-yard punt. He was shaky on that one, but he got away with it.
see the ball go through Reed's hands. He did get back. It's Miami possession.
I wish I was home, where home, when my thoughts escape and home, when the music plays.
New MSN Explorer. Everything you need to feel at home on the web, all in one place.
Why are people tossing their yellow pages? There's something better. Switchboard.com, a free directory powered by the internet. It's business listings, it's people search, it's maps and directions. It's faster, and it's a smarter way to find everything in your town and places your yellow pages doesn't cover. Don't take our word for it. Listen to your neighbors. Switchboard.com. Think outside the book.
Part Street Fighter, part Jet Fighter. The new 210 horsepower, supercharged Nissan Frontier.
Why won't everybody just go home? Go home! Forget it!
NFL Today, Sundays on CBS.
Just under 8 remaining first quarter. Miami with a 42-yard touchdown toss. Dorsey to Moss. Has the ball back for the second time now, and they send Moss and Reggie Wayne wide to the right. Jackson, the deep back. Moss in motion. They hand it to Jackson. Filled as he crosses the 30 down to the 31. Well, Santana Moss, the senior, talked with us yesterday about how he expects his team to play today.
It is all about, you know, that team pride. And we're going to let them know that when they come down here tomorrow, man, it's going to be nothing but pride. Let them feel. They're going to feel a lot of pride. You know what I mean? Every play is going to be about pride. You know, you're at our home now. Last year, you was at your home. We came there fighting, and we gave in. You know what I mean? It's none of that this year. We're going to fight until them 60 minutes up.
Dorsey comes left, catches made. Jeremy Shockey, the junior college transfer, who became an instant part of Miami football lore when he caught the winning touchdown here a month ago against Florida State.
Well, he is a gifted tight end, and they think he could be good as or better than Bubba Franks, who was a first-round draft pick. Great hands, and you see the concentration on the sidelines. He bobbled it briefly, but was able to secure it and get his foot in bounds right on the Miami sideline.
Played at Northeastern Junior College in Miami, Oklahoma, and now comes to South Florida. Jackson caught for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. David Pugh and Roniel Whitaker. Florida State, the last drive, Todd. We remember it well.
Yeah. Ken Dorsey was 6 of 7, and 3 of those passes were to his tight end, Jeremy Shockey. The last one, the 13-yard touchdown, and the thing we found out after the game, he was banged up and was in the locker room and hurt and came back late in the fourth quarter and made huge plays in that final drive. But a very, very talented pass-receiving tight end.
Loss of 4 last play, second down. Loss of 3, rather, second and 13. Play fake, Dorsey. Looks deep, nobody there. Shakes the tackle and heaves it out where it is. Is that caught by Reggie Wayne? Well, I believe they're going to give him credit for it.
There's some confusion. Now calling it in.
Now they're saying no.
Well, first of all, it should have been a sack. They weren't able to get the sack, and then it looked like it was going to be an interception. And here's Reggie Wayne coming back to the football. What you tell a receiver to do, keep working back, and the ball bounced off the ground, clearly. You see, Eric Green had a shot at it first, and the ball right off the turf, and a good call.
Reggie Wayne trying to sell the catch.
Got to.
Yes, absolutely.
Take your shot with it.
3rd and 13, and timeout is called by Miami. The play clock winding down on them, so they burn one of their 3. 6:18 to go in the opening quarter. Miami up by 7.
With more of the hottest new releases guaranteed, nobody brings home the magic of the movies like Blockbuster.
Rent Frequency this week at Blockbuster. A voice from the past.
Dad?
A warning from the future.
Mom's gonna be murdered.
A man out of time. Frequency, starring Dennis Quaid. Rated PG-13. Guaranteed on VHS and available on DVD this week at Blockbuster.
Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home.
What kind of a company are we? We're a company of 70,000 people. People with families and children, hopes and expectations. We're a community with a shared conviction that if we can just make others' lives better and easier and more prosperous and secure, then our lives will be better too. We're First Union, and that's the kind of company we are.
When these married guys party with rock stars,
Every other party we'll be invited to this year will have a moon bounce and a petting zoo.
will they go overboard? All new Yes Here, CBS Monday.
6:18 to go opening quarter, 7-0 Miami. On a 42-yard touchdown toss, Dorsey to Santana Moss. Moss on 3rd and 13 breaks wide right. Reggie Wayne comes left, and the Hurricanes will go from a shotgun. Brett Romberg, number 66, over the ball. Pugh across the line, gets back and gets set. Good protection for Dorsey. Finds a man, it's behind Santana Moss, who was open at the 45-yard line in front of Eric Green.
Well, you see so much man-to-man against Virginia Tech. When they do throw a zone at you, it kind of throws you for a loop. And Santana Moss reads the zone and is going to sit down right in the soft spot. He's open, but Ken Dorsey can't get him the football.
Now Freddie Capshaw will punt, and Andre Davis is not back to return. Ronyo Whitaker calls for the fair catch and lets it go over his head. And it limps into the end zone. Just a small, subtle part of this game. Andre Davis, like Santana Moss, has 3 punt returns for touchdowns this year, unable to play in that role today.
Yeah, leads the nation in punt returning, and actually Whitaker very lucky on that one. He should have caught the football. Lucky that Miami was not able to get to that ball and pin him down inside the 5-yard line. Here's Andre Davis, and he is limited. There's no question, and he is a speed receiver. You see right there leading the nation in punt return. Also the guy who can stretch the defense from his wide receiver position, but he is nowhere near 100% right now in this ballgame.
Cullen Hawkins and Andre Kendrick are the backs now. They alternate series, and time is called.
I think the officials stopped the play. Looks like a play clock problem.
Right. Referee today is Dennis Hennigan, and we'll hear from him.
Please reset the 25-second clock.
And while we've got a bit of a break, there is NFL regional coverage tomorrow. Miami, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Buffalo, New England, Indianapolis, Chicago, and Baltimore, Cincinnati, and then the late games. You saw the list, and it all begins with the NFL today. First down and 10. Kendrick, tiny senior, 5'7", 190 pounds. One-time high school quarterback. He gets his first carry and is out to the 23-yard line. Tackle made by Dan Morgan and Al Blades.
Vern, one thing Miami is doing, and they did it last year, into the snap count, they're moving a safety down to add an extra guy against the run. That's Blades. There's no one there to block him. They don't show it right away. They try to creep him down in there during the snap count to get one extra guy that Virginia Tech can't block. And Al Blades, a physical presence at 6'2", 205 pounds.
Second down and 7. Again, the I formation. Option play. Meyer nailed for the second consecutive time. Jamal Green gets him for the second consecutive time.
I think you got to get away from the option.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to show it just to keep Miami honest, but Dave Meyer does not look comfortable running the option right now. I mean, you cannot hesitate. You've got to make quick decisions. You got to stop. It's not a full option. It's the quarterback and the pitchman. You got to defend those two guys. They're quickly on the quarterback, and again, Dave Meyer needs to pitch that football. Get it to somebody who can make something happen with it as a runner.
They go from the spread on 3rd and 11 after the loss of 5. DeMassey snaps it back. 4-man rush, stunts. Meyer hesitates, finds Cullen Hawkins out of the backfield, and the redshirt senior from Pittsburgh makes the grab. Not for the 27, but that will not be enough for the first down. Cullen Hawkins, who was injured and lost the season in this game 2 years ago, as Michael Vick looks on.
I know he hates wearing that baseball cap.
Oh, mercy.
There's no question about it. He is a competitor, wanted desperately to play, and we very well may see him before the season done.
Here's Peasley, his best of 3, hangs it up, and Santana Moss with a fair catch call at the 37-yard line. That is a 37-yard punt. More significantly, hang time was good and no return. Test your sports knowledge. Play. Thank you. You're late on your cue.
Sorry.
No, I mean, we've been working together for a while now. At cbs.sportsline.com or America Online, keyword CBS Sportsline. You study, you stay in, you do room service.
I know.
And you
lose my focus.
First and 10. 7-0. Jackson and Davenport, the backs in the eye. Dorsey, deep right side. And Reggie Wayne has it. Beautiful, beautiful throw. Beat Eric Green. 41 yards.
They caught Virginia Tech in a stem again. They were able to catch him with the snap count. Watch the late movement, and then the post pattern right here. Late movement up front, and the post pattern perfectly thrown by Dorsey. The safety, McAdam, can't get there in time to make the play. Excellent throw out away from the corner, and also away from the safety, Kevin McAdam.
Santana Moss has 1 for 42 in the touchdown. Reggie Wayne, the 161st catch of his career. He's the all-time leader here. And here's Jackson plunging inside the 20 and down to the 18. Reggie Wayne, 33rd game with at least 1 reception, and that ties a record held by a couple of All-Americans, Michael Irvin and Lamar Thomas. And he is also, as we just said, the all-time leader in number of catches.
And he has been Ken Dorsey's favorite target around the end zone as well, as we take a look at the old southpaw getting warmed up in the bullpen.
When the crowd sees that, they will react with, here's a halfback pass.
Tight end is open.
Jackson will run. He's got Dorsey out, and boy, Dorsey wanted nothing to do with it. Touchdown. Great block by Andre King, Kern. That was the key to the play. Wide receiver Andre King with a terrific block on Roniel Whitaker.
This is a heads-up decision by James Jackson because it's supposed to be a pass. Now watch James Jackson. He doesn't like what he sees, so he says, I'll run it. And now the bottom of your right-hand screen, there's going to be a block by Andre King that secured the touchdown.
Extra point from Stevers is up and good. A 17-yard run by Jackson. Watch the air block by the quarterback, though, Ken Dorsey.
It was enough. You throw the chicken wing out there and stand in his way, but there's the key block by Andre King.
14-7.
An epiphany is a sudden awakening to the essential nature or meaning of things. The day you realize that babies aren't delivered by storks, that was an epiphany. The day you recognize that men and women are not the same, that was an epiphany. The day you realize that your website is your business and your software can't handle the traffic, that is an epiphany. It's a different kind of world. You need a different kind of software.
14-0 Hurricanes. Let's take another look at the touchdown. First, you're going to see the tight end Shockey is wide open. Andre King, the secondary receiver, but watch Andre King turn from receiver to blocker. James Jackson doesn't like what he sees. Now watch Andre King right here turn and get the key block that gets Jackson to the end zone. Excellent job by Andre King, the senior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And again, You got to give him a block. I mean, it wasn't much, but you got to give him credit for the block.
Now, come on. He looks like Manolete, the old bullfighter, moving adroitly to his right. Miami with 4 national titles, 3 in the 80s.
Well, Vern, I think Michael Vick has taken the baseball cap off, and a helmet is now in place.
Andre Kendrick decides with some hesitation to bring it out and pays a heavy price. Flag is down.
Late. Flag down late.
Wow. Against Virginia Tech. Well, a hobbled Michael Vick will see action. We chatted with him after the walkthrough yesterday, and he said, I don't know. Butch Davis thought all week long that he would play. There's the penalty against Virginia Tech. And the Miami coach said to us yesterday, listen, 80% of Michael Vick is 10% better than all other humans.
Maybe a slight exaggeration, but, you know, he compared it to the Chris Weinke injury before the Florida State-Miami game, but it's much different. I mean, this guy needs good wheels to be able to do what he does best, and he is not going to be his old self when he plays in this game right now. There's just no way.
He gets his first snap in this game at the 6-yard line. Handoff, Suggs. Nice run. Good tackle by Morgan out at the 12-yard line. Morgan and Blades have been forces defensively.
And that's what Virginia Tech has to do. They are still in this ball game. They've got to stay with what they do best, and that's run the football with Lee Suggs out of the I formation and set up your play-action pass with Michael Vick.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Vick throws it. That's Ernest Wilford, the redshirt freshman, number 19.
Nice decision by Michael Vick. You've got to throw this football. Miami, 10 guys around the football. Well, look at this. 10 defenders around to stop the run. One-on-one out here. You have to throw it. There's no way you can run with any success. Michael makes a good decision and gets his first completion of the day.
Under 2 to go in the first quarter. A first down, Virginia Tech. They have the ball at their own 21-yard line. Andre Davis and Emmett Johnson are the wide receivers now. Deep handoff, Suggs breaks the tackle, moves it out across the 30 to the 31-yard line, a gain of 11. Now, what kind of a week has it been for Michael Vick? Let's go down and get more from Jill Arrington.
Perhaps the man with the toughest job this week was Virginia Tech trainer Mike Goforth. Let me let you know what he went through trying to get Michael Vick recovered this week. Now, last Saturday, of course, he sprained his ankle. Then on Sunday, they cast his foot for a custom brace, a special brace that was made by Rod Walters, the head trainer at South Carolina. Monday and Tuesday, he went through treatment, whirlpool massage. On Wednesday, a little strength and stretching exercises. Not until Thursday was he able to do a little bit of jogging with the brace on a mini trampoline. On Friday, he had to walk through with the brace with an extra ski clasp attachment to try to keep that foot stable. That's what he's playing with out there today. Usually it takes about 31 days to overcome an injury like this. It's only been 6, and he's on the field. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Jill. And there is...
You're a skier. Does that look like what you wear when you go down the hill?
I defer to Billy Kidd. Yeah.
But again, I mean, he puts so much stress on his feet, ankles, and knees, his whole lower body, the way he plays the game, that he can stand in the pocket and throw, but he's not going to be able to do his magical thing as a runner.
2nd and 10. Deep handoff to Starks, who is hit behind the line by Matt Walters, number 91. Walters, a sophomore from Melbourne, Florida, up the coast.
Nice penetration by Walter. Here he is right here. Watch him get right over the center. DeMassey, and able to get in there and get penetration behind the line of scrimmage.
Dave Meyer, the 5th-year senior, relinquished his spot to Michael Vick, 3 of 6. His problems in this game came trying to run the option. 4. Vick with time, wings it, tipped, almost intercepted by Michael Blades as Philip Buchanan got both hands on it.
And Emmett Johnson just has to make this catch. I mean, this is a team hanging on right now, Virginia Tech. Michael Vick is showing some courage. He's going to hang in there and get hit, and he throws a perfect pass to Emmett Johnson. Watch Michael Vick, good protection, only a 4-man rush. William Joseph is going to hit him, but Emmett Johnson needs to make that catch. You can't throw it any better than Michael Vick did.
That brings on Robert Peasley, and this is another poor punt. Short, taken at the 50-yard line by Edward Reed, number 20. So Peasley has punted 4 times, 2 of them really ineffective.
Yeah, I said Virginia Tech needed to do something special in the special teams, and right now their punting team is killing them. The field position edge has been hugely in favor of Miami here in the first quarter.
Once before this season, Frank Beamer pulled Peasley and put Ben Taylor into punt, and then in a later game, there was an injury to Peasley, and Ben Taylor came on. So we might look for that. Clinton Portis is in. Missed 3 games with broken toes. And on his first carry, he is caught and dropped by Chad Beasley, number 94.
Yeah, we saw Matt Walter with the great penetration for Miami a couple plays ago. This time, Chad Beasley does the same thing for the Hokies.
We have a penalty marker down.
Flag is down.
He loses 5 yards.
Personal foul, Miami.
On top of the lost yardage on the play. And penalties have also been a problem for Miami when they've lost to Virginia Tech the last 5 years. Miscues in the kicking game.
Personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty. It will be 2nd down. It will be 2nd down.
2nd down back at the 30. 65 penalties this year. It has been a continuing problem. 2nd and 30 at the 30. Reggie Wayne comes near side. And we do not get the final play of the first half run. That's the end of 1 from the Orange Bowl in Miami. 14-zip. We'll return to the Orange Bowl right after this message. And this
They said he was out of bounds. Reggie Germany gave you the good effort, and Cedric Henry was there on the coverage. 18.
It works. What more do you need to know?
Last name is Ottababy Pizza Boy.
Hello?
Collect call for Mr. Bob Ottababy Pizza Boy.
Sorry, wrong number.
Who's that, kid?
Bob, they had a baby. It's a boy.
Oh.
Don't cheat the phone company. Save money the legal way. Call Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I'm a child care director. In the summer, I drive buses and vans. We have a blast on these field trips. It's just as much fun for me as it is for them. Parents are entrusting me with the safety of their children. We have to make sure we keep great tires on the van. But we trust Walmart to service our vehicles. They have name brand tires and they have great prices, and they're guaranteed nationwide. That's one reason we bought them.
Brand name tires, oil changes, and more at Walmart Tire and Lube Express.
Because it's pretty precious cargo.
With another place there.
Straight years. The best time to buy an F-150 is now during Ford's truck season.
Ford is hard work and the best trucks are built Ford tough.
He's your dealer and Ford dealer today.
Well, who do we have here? It's Bailey, a typical pup with that unmistakable puppy breath. He deserves a happy life with balls to catch and faces to lick. But if he ends up in an animal shelter here in Greater Atlanta, he probably won't survive. What can we do to save our dogs and cats? Clear News is on the trail to a solution. If you want to help, watch tonight at 11 on WGCL-TV. Clear News. News that clearly matters.
Do you remember anything after being
arguing with you.
Well, you called the wrong man. Don't do anything to destroy the evidence. And you're the evidence.
Daddy?
How do you know? He's not you, and you're not him.
I know who I am. Next Day, rated PG-13. Opens everywhere November 17th.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution High School Sports Show, Sunday at 11 on WGCL-TV.
Two-touchdown lead for the Miami Hurricanes, and they have the ball with the second down as we get started with the second quarter. Ken Dorsey, 4 of 6 thus far. But huge deficit here, second down and 30. 3 wide receivers, and they'll keep it on the ground. Clinton Portis, number 28, gets 5 back out to the 35-yard line. Miami scoring on a 42-yard toss to Santana Moss, and then they got the broken halfback option play that results in the touchdown. They have seemingly controlled this thing so
Yeah,
far.
and a couple of the key things that Virginia Tech had to be aware of. Special teams, they've had a 12-yard punt, a 19-yard punt, and they couldn't give up the big plays. They've given up 2 huge plays in the passing game to Miami. Kenny Dorsey, you said, only 4 completions, but for 97 yards. He's averaging 24.3 yards per completion right now.
3rd and 25 for Miami. Play fake for Dorsey. He's under pressure. Pulls up, finds D.J. Williams, who is popped by Corey Bird out at the 40-yard line. Well, the Gators are taking on Vanderbilt. Let's find out what's going on. Back to Tim Brando in New York.
Vern, you know, in '96 when Florida won the national title, they very nearly lost in Nashville to Vanderbilt. A little trickery here. Greg Zolman throwing it over to Dan Stricker, then back to Zolman. He gets it to the 1, and then Jerry McGrath would plunge it in from a yard out, and Vandy has the lead in Music City.
My. Here's the punt, and it's a line drive punt taken by Roniel Whitaker at the 30-yard line. Breaks out of the tackle, gets a good block, moves up across the 40, the 50, and out at the 48-yard line. 22-yard return for Roniel Whitaker, who is in that position because of the injury to Andre Davis. But Tech with good field position, and Michael Vick in the cockpit when we come back.
Does it take to predict a market change?
Tickets, folks.
I'm out. Tax laws have changed. Should I be looking at my estate plan again?
Anyone who knows me wouldn't recommend a stock like this.
Oh, not again. Investment strategies for you. Great. Just for me. And 5 million other people.
Thank you, Paine-Webber.
Montana from Pontiac. It's nimble enough to tame the dusty trail. Pretty handy for life's twists and turns.
Never seen a minivan do that before. Maybe it's not really a minivan.
Life is more exciting in Montana. Like Pontiac.
Friday night on The Late Show, it was the return of Madonna.
It's so close to me.
Monday, Days All-Star November continues.
Just under 14 to go first half. Miami up 14-0, and among those enjoying the game today, Alonzo Mourning. Out for the season with the Miami Heat because of the kidney disorder. My wife Nancy and I were at the arena the other night for the Heat Magic game, and what a wonderful moment when the crowd paid tribute to really one of the decent men in sports. There's Michael Vick on first down and 10. Caught at the 50-yard line. Al Blades, who has been very busy.
That wasn't Michael Vick. I'm going to tell you now, they ran the option just to keep Miami honest, but that was not Michael Vick running the option. That was a tentative, hobbled quarterback trying to throw something at the Miami defense. And watch Michael Vick come down the line on this option. He's hobbling, and he's going for the ground.
This time he will operate from the shotgun after the loss of 1. Emmett Johnson back on, had a drop of some significance last possession. Vick, no, he can't move. Boy, you could really see it there. The darting ability absent. And let's check in once again with Jill Arrington.
I'm down here. I found the trainer, Mike Goforth, who worked on Vick's ankle. I know that you said Coach Beamer made the decision to put him in the game, but how is he feeling physically out there? How's he able to keep that ankle loose? He looks like he's hobbling a little bit.
Well, he just got such a high pain tolerance and threshold. He's a great kid. He's determined to play, and basically that's what's got him out there right now. He's unleashing the boot when he comes over to the sideline to give the ankle some blood supply, but other than that, he's just sucking it up.
All right, well, he's looking good. You did a good job getting him out there. Let's hope he stays in.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jill. 3rd and 16.
You know, and the other thing that has to be going through his mind is, you know, he's got to be thinking, he's a little concerned. He's a little scared. I mean, he is a guy with great wheels, and he knows he's got a bad one, and he doesn't want to hurt himself any worse than he already is.
Hand off to Andre Kendrick, who gets a block from Hawkins, but it's not much. And Jamal Green gets his 3rd tackle of the game. And let's watch the footwork.
Well, Michael Vick makes money with his feet. I mean, he is so gifted, and you can see he's just gingerly kind of moving and hopping and hobbling into his positions, and he's going to be okay if he can stay in the pocket and step and throw, because it's his right ankle, and he's a left-handed quarterback, so he can plant and throw okay. But if he has to move side to side or make something happen, he's not going to be very effective.
Jake Grove is on at center now, replacing DeMassey. 3rd and 17. Here comes the blitz. Play fake. Michael Vick steps up, and he'll run, and is caught and dropped from behind by Jamal Green. The elusiveness is absent.
Yeah. He's lost a dimension. Now, he still has a great arm. And again, the offensive line is who's going to have to take the slack up. They've got to protect and let him stay in the pocket and throw the football. He's not going to outrun the Miami defense today.
That brings on Peasley for the 5th time in the first half. Santana Moss back. This one a little better. Moss grabs it at the 19-yard line. Comes right down at the 29-yard line. So a counter punch of 10 yards after the 33-yard punt. It's not been a blessing. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot College football will continue. With time gone, we'll be back after this word from your local station.
You know the legend. Now get to know the woman. Jackie, CBS Sunday.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Tahoe. Now offering a 3rd row of seats that's light and easier to handle than anything else out there. It's nowhere near anything. The new Chevy Tahoe. Like a rock.
Here's 3 reasons to buy New Balance shoes at the Sports Shoe. New Balance makes shoes for the entire family in different widths and different sizes. When you spend good money for a performance shoe, it should have a performance fit. That's why New Balance shoes come in a wide range of sizes and widths to fit your foot. The Sports Shoe has New Balance in widths from AA to 4E and sizes from infant to size 20. For widths and sizes in New Balance, nobody outruns the Sports Shoe.
Jack West was a cop. In the legislature, he's still protecting the most vulnerable among us. He believes that anyone who preys on seniors and kids should do time. Hard time. Georgians are safer today because Jack West is on the job.
Our representative, Jim Stokes, cut property taxes, fought HMOs to let you choose your doctor, and has a plan to lower the cost of prescriptions. Leanne Long spent Newton County into so much debt they had to raise taxes by 30%. It's your choice.
What you can do to save the dogs and cats in Atlanta's animal shelters, tonight at 11.
Tonight on CBS, while every cop in Washington is backing up the FBI, a serial killer makes his move. Craig T. Nelson stars in an all-new episode of what viewers are calling the best new drama of the year. That's The District tonight on CBS. Beautiful view of downtown Miami. We're not far from that spot at the Orange Bowl. And Clint Portis gets the handoff on first down. After the 33-yard line tackle made by Jake Housewright, number 41.
So far, Miami's tailbacks doing a nice job of protecting the football. Again, 6 turnovers last year by Miami in the game up in Blacksburg.
2 of them by this young man, Clinton Portis. He had 139 yards in the game, but folks here more inclined to remember the 2 fumbles.
And Miami 14 fumbles this year coming into the game. So something they really emphasized all week in practice.
Second down and 6. Dorsey darts to his right, throws it at the knees of Ivan Mercer, and it's no catch. Third down. Well, doubleheader for you on this significant Saturday in November, and game 2, Alabama rocked with the decision to let Mike DeBose go at the end of the season. We'll take on LSU in Baton Rouge. That's the second game of our doubleheader. It comes up next.
Yeah, amazingly, LSU has not beaten Alabama in Baton Rouge since 1969. So, obviously, Nick Saban had nothing to do with that or any of the current Bayou Bengals, but one of the stranger streaks in all of college football.
Third and 6. Dorsey with good protection, fires it for Santana Moss. First down up at the 47-yard line. Philip Summers, number 8, is back to make the pass.
I think the thing we're seeing with Santana Moss, the more the season goes on, the ankle injury from earlier in the year is becoming less and less of a factor. He's looking more fluid, running in routes, in punt returns, much more like his old self. And had a little bit of a coming-out party against Florida State a couple weeks ago and has continued to play really well for the Hurricanes.
He gets a rest, and Darrell Jones comes on first down after the 14-yard gain. Right tackle, Joaquin Gonzalez moved. That's across Miami 5. Gonzalez, who is one of those who came here in the midst of the probationary period for Miami, which Davis came in. This school lost 24 scholarships when put on probation in 1995. And Gonzalez was a believer, and he's become an anchor. He grew up wanting to play for the Miami Hurricanes. Turned down a chance at an Ivy League education.
Yeah, the combination of Joaquin and the left tackle, Bryant McKinney, has been a real strength for this Miami offense. Those 2 tackles, those 2 bookends, have played extremely well.
First and 15. Jones in motion. Dorsey fires it short. Andre King across the 50 and down at the 47-yard line, maybe the 46. Corey Bird with a tackle.
Nice little route, combination route. Andre King actually went in and then zigged back out. And Dorsey starting to get in a little better rhythm than he was in last week against Louisiana Tech. Looking under control, going to the right places with the football, and throwing with accuracy. As you see, 6 of 10 for 123 yards and 1 touchdown.
Second down and 3. Portis looks for room, doesn't find enough. He gets inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. 14-0 midway through the second quarter. Opening touchdown, a Dorsey to Santana Moss toss of 42 yards. The second touchdown, James Jackson on a broken halfback option play. He scored from 17 out. And of significance, Michael Vick replaced Dave Meyer with 2:53 to go in the first quarter, but has been candidly ineffective.
Yeah. Keep an eye on the fullback right here. DJ Williams, a good opportunity for play action.
3rd and 1. That's what it is, and there's DJ Williams, and it's just about a foot behind him.
This was a nice job on the outside of disrupting the timing of this play. The fullback, DJ Williams, got bumped on his way out, and the timing of the play was disrupted. Watch Williams right here. He gets bumped by Lamar Cobb coming out and just totally throws off the timing of the route. Actually, Ben Taylor is the guy who was able to knock a little steam out of DJ Williams.
Freddie Capshaw from Rock Springs, Wyoming, will punt this into the wind, and it holds this punt up, sends it left, but he does get a nice angle. It's out of bounds, I believe, inside the 20. Yes? No, right at the 20. 8 minutes and 12 seconds to go. First half, Miami by 14.
Meet the all-new Aztec. Meet Sam and Kate. They're about to
Pound mango for
Mangoes? Mangoes. I think I got too many. Go, mango!
next day. Sharks and sushi.
Yeah, fishy. You like fish, right? Yeah. Well, I'll see if I can catch us a pizza.
How many fish should I catch?
0 fish.
Right after that day, meet Aztec, quite possibly the most versatile vehicle on the planet, by Pontiac.
First of all, I'm not denying that I used Cinder. It was a very experimental time. Someone passed it to me, I put it to my ear, but I did not talk, I only listened. Even then, all I heard was static. But I have been free and clear ever since. I even chose long distance so I could reach out to young people across the nation and warn them of even casual cellular use.
The new Sprint CCS Free and Clear plan, $29.99 for 500 minutes, all with nationwide long distance.
Are you following PHRN?
Get your clients from the PHRN.
Clinical testing through the roof.
Coming up at halftime. Now let's get you back out to the Orange Bowl.
All right, Tim, thank you. Amazingly, Alabama, with that record that they have, still with a chance to win the SEC West.
Yeah, no question, this is a big game for both Alabama and LSU. Down in Tiger Town.
First and 10. Big play. Bigger play. He's got great speed. He's the second fastest man on the team, second only to Michael Vick. Tied at that spot with Andre Davis, and boy, he got the Jets going then.
Hey, you've got three great weapons on your team. Two of them are hobbled in Vick and Davis. This guy is healthy. His 7th carry, now 69 yards in the ball game. That is working for Virginia Tech. They've got to stick with this and hope they can set up a play-action pass with Michael Vick throwing out of the pocket. But Lee Suggs is off to a very good day against this Miami defense.
Gain of 39 and a first down at the 41-yard line. They'll try Suggs again. And he surges down to the 35-yard line. First 5 possessions have resulted in punts.
And not very good punts either. They've averaged right around 25 yards a kick. And that is not getting it done because this is the first time Virginia Tech operating with really good field position, and that most of the first half, Miami has had the edge in that category.
Suggs off a 165-yard effort last week in the come-from-behind win over Pittsburgh. There's the toss and the handoff to the short man, Ferguson. And he's down to the 31. And tame. It's tame, yes. Very tame. It's time. Take over, pal.
The Exxon Virtual Playbook. Virginia Tech, they've got to establish their power running game out of the I formation. And to do it, you need a good blocking fullback and tight end, an athletic lineman who can get to the second level, and then you need a tailback who hits the hole with power and explosion, and they sure have that in Lee Suggs. Everything Virginia Tech likes to do offensively builds off of being able to run the ball off the I formation.
First and 10 after 30. Here comes the blitz. Play action. Andre Davis. Not much there. Might have lost the yard at the 31-yard line. Wow. Quincy Hips, number 90, got out quickly.
That's gimp to gimp right
yes,
there.
Yes, it is.
You know, Michael, again, doesn't look like himself throwing it. Andre didn't look like himself catching it. And Andre Davis, I think, is down again.
Andre Davis chatting with us yesterday really seemed questionable about his ability to contribute today. Great speed, outstanding wide receiver and special teams player. Said he got a high ankle sprain.
Yeah. And the only reason that he and Michael Vick are playing is because they are great competitors and great leaders on this football team. They know they're not 100%, but they're hoping they can do something. And again, Andre Davis, severely limited. He is a great speed receiver, track guy and a football guy, and just not himself. And now being helped off the field. Had to come out of the Syracuse game, did not play at all last week against Pittsburgh. Practiced very little this week in Blacksburg and out of the game again right now.
Second down and 10, trailing by 14. This has become an all too familiar position for Virginia Tech. They handed off to Suggs, and he stopped at the 29. They trailed last week in their game against Pittsburgh, the week before at Syracuse, and the week prior to that in West Virginia. All victories, of course, but they have had to come from behind.
Last couple third downs now, what Miami has done to Michael Vick is they've run a lot of twists with their front people, and they've had a spy just keeping an eye on Michael Vick. And again, he's a very mortal quarterback right now in terms of running, so you can afford to put a guy in there and keep tabs on Michael Vick.
They do have the wind behind them in case it comes to a field goal for Porter Worley. Third down, here's the option. Vick keeps it. Jamal Green puts it on the ground. Fumble. Miami ball. Chris Campbell recovered. Michael Vick, understandably, so tentative.
Tentative, thinking about his ankle, not wanting to get hurt again.
It was Jamal Green who hit him.
Jamal Green is there first. Damian Lewis, the second guy, and that too knocks the football out. And Michael Vick thinking more about his ankle than how to execute the option on that one.
Our business has always been about the direct relationship with the customer. That's what it's always about. What do you want to use your computer for? I guess the biggest priority is getting online.
I want to make home movies and edit them on the computer.
I'd like to know, what I should buy for, a teacher.
Give us a call and tell us what you want to do. We'll set you up with a Gateway Essential PC, Intel Celeron processor, and a Year of America Online, all for under $23.
14-0 Miami, a critical fumble by Michael Vick. Now watch the defense on the option by Jamal Green. And Michael Vick, at this point, Jamal Green has his ankles under his body, and Michael Green right now, or Michael Vick, thinking more about what's going to happen to his foot than the football. And it squirts out when Damian Lewis hits him at the end of the play. And again, it's just, I don't know that the option is a good choice right now for Michael Vick and Ricky Bustle's offense.
Play fake Dorsey on first down. Heaves it left. Looked more like a shot put than a pass. That one was not pretty.
Well, he's lucky that it wasn't pretty, because if it was any prettier, Corey Bird is going to pick this one off and maybe take it to the end zone.
That one looks like the answer to the Aflac trivia question.
Well, Ken Dorsey, as all quarterbacks do, as soon as you throw a pass like that, you start looking at your hand like you got sweat or something on it. But nothing on this football, and Corey Bird was there if the ball was a little higher.
Dorsey for the day. One touchdown. That was to Santana Moss. Second down and 10. A 14-0 lead. Might have a delay.
Play clock ran down. Yep.
Second and 15.
Right now, Butch Davis knows, we have a chance to go ahead and take control of this game. I mean, we're outplaying them. Virginia Tech doesn't know what they can do offensively. If we score one more time, we maybe shut the door on the Hokies. Virginia Tech, on the other hand, trying to survive this first half with no more damage.
Moss starts in motion, now comes back to the right. Dorsey finds Santana Moss. The catch made at the 39-yard line in front of Philip Summers, number 8. Gain of 17, and that will be a first down. From high above, these pictures are courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. For more than 75 years, Goodyear has been providing aerial coverage at the world's major sporting events. You know who directed the first game and the first glimpse show in this facility? My old boss in golf, Frank Chirkin. In retirement out in California. You don't sound impressed.
I am impressed.
First,
I'm trying to figure out how he's retired and you're not.
Here's the handoff to Jackson going left. Now to the 44-yard line. Philip Summers with the tackle. Second down. Nearing 5 minutes to go. And Dave Meyer warming up. Think they might go back?
There's a good chance. I mean, I'm sure at halftime they're gonna have a real serious conversation. What can we do to have a chance to win? I mean, are we better off with a healthy Dave Meyer or a much less than 100% Michael Vick? Jackson
at the 47-yard line. Tackle made by Corey Bird, a gain of 11.
Excellent job blocking on the right side by Miami's offensive line. Martin Bibla and Joaquin Gonzalez. Watch this hole open up on the right side. Najee Davenport with an excellent block on Ben Taylor. And again, James Jackson has really been on a roll running the football the last couple weeks for the Hurricanes.
Well, you get a sense that both teams understand the significance of this drive. There's the handoff to the 45-yard line. Carry made by Najee Davenport. 4:20 to go. It's 14-0. Miami can really seize control of this game if they can get it in.
And the Virginia Tech defense has been on the field a lot in this first half. The Hokies not able to convert third downs, and, you know, it doesn't feel too bad in our booth, but when the sun is out and it's not behind the clouds, it is warm on that field, and that will take a toll on this Virginia Tech defense.
2nd and 8. Darryl Jones splits wide left. Tech brings 4. Dorsey has a man. Just misses Jones at the 5-yard line.
Nice job by Ken Dorsey. He anticipated blitz. He anticipated man-to-man, and he audibled to this throw. And again, the safety, Kevin McAdam, takes a bad angle to the football. He's beat, and that's a touchdown if Dorsey isn't so strong on the throw. But a good audible, a good choice of where to go with the football, and very lucky Virginia Tech is that ball was overthrown.
3rd and 8 with 3:39 to go in the first half.
Big cushion out here.
Blitz. Dorsey with time. Shockey slips the tackle to the 25. Slips another tackle. Shockey for the touchdown. McAdam and Green both had their arms around him. Neither could hold on.
Well, Kevin McAdam was picked on the last play. He's going to get picked on here again. Man-to-man on Shockey. He's just got to wrap up and make the tackle. And you see the athleticism of Shockey. Santana Moss with a block at the end of the play. And the Hurricanes, a crucial touchdown here late in the half.
Severs with the extra point is up and good. And that puts the period to a 44-yard touchdown. Toss and catch. Jeremy Shockey from Ada, Oklahoma, into the end zone for Miami.
Bill Kelly just rewrote his will. To his wife, he'll leave 2 homes and his investment portfolio. He'll leave other assets to his children. All his beneficiaries are here. All except the IRS, who could get 2/3 of everything. See how we earn it. Solomon Smith Barney.
These lawyers were O.J.'s dream team. But behind closed doors,
Don't embarrass us.
it was a nightmare.
I find this damn insulting.
American Tragedy, November 12th.
Virginia Tech faces filled with a little more dismay. 21-0.
Vern, this was their problem last week, too, against Pittsburgh in the first half. Big plays that they gave up to John Turman throwing the football. Last week in the first half, Turman was 6 of 7 for 143 yards, and they scored 20 points. Ken Dorsey having a similar first half against Virginia Tech, and now a 21-point lead. Ken Dorsey with a little verbiage there for Whitaker.
And here is the kick by Stevers. Kendrick. Nice hurdle. And it will be a touchback and come out to the 20-yard line. Dangerously close of going through his arms, and looks like his finger got nicked.
Ken Dorsey has had a little problem being out of rhythm the last couple weeks. No such problems today, though. He has really thrown the football well.
Michael Vick is back in at quarterback with 3:24 to go before the break. Ken Dorsey, his mom and dad are here from California. His brother Adam, who is a student at Florida State, also in the stands today. 1st and 10.
Every time, Miami bringing that 8th or 9th guy down into the play.
Here's Suggs. He would appear to be their best hope. 13-yard gain. Edward Reed, Chris Campbell.
See, every time right here, they're slipping a safety down to get 8 guys around the football. Virginia Tech showing run. Get one more guy down there that you can't block, but you still have to tackle Lee Suggs because he is very talented, and if you don't tackle with good fundamentals, doesn't matter how many guys you have there.
Very modest numbers for Michael Vick. Handoff Suggs. He's closing in on a 100-yard half. He's now got 93 yards on 11 carries.
See, the thing that has made Virginia Tech so effective this year and last year was their ability to run the football like this out of the I formation and then go play action and throw the ball deep to Andre Davis. Well, they haven't been able to do that. You look at what they've been able to do running the football against Miami. Every year they've been effective, and they're effective today, but they have not had the play-action pass complement to go with the running game.
Play fake. Michael Vick deep down the middle for Emmett Johnson. This is intercepted by Edward Reed. 5th interception of the season for the junior from St. Rose, Louisiana.
Michael Vick probably shouldn't have thrown this where he did, but his receiver, Emmett Johnson, has got to help him. I mean, he just continued running down the side and didn't go and at least try to break up the play. If you can't make the catch, do not let a guy stand back there and make an easy interception. Watch right here. Emmett Johnson is going to run the post, and the ball is going to be thrown too far to the inside. Well, if you can't catch it, do not let the Ed Reed just make the easy interception. Go and knock the ball loose.
Second Tech turnover. Vick with a fumble and interception. Here's James Jackson. Rolls out to the 36-yard line. Watch Emmett Johnson, the wide receiver, on that last play.
Maybe he didn't find the football, I don't know, but when the ball's up in the air, you can't let a guy play deep center field and just make the easy catch. You got to go and make a collision and at least not let him make the easy catch. Michael Vick, not himself. Damian Lewis knows he's playing against a wounded warrior today.
1st and 10. Jackson and Davenport in the backfield. It's Jackson again. Nice move as he gets the handoff deep from Dorsey and carries it out across the 40. 1:38 to go before the break. Jackson with 76 yards. Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman will have that interview with deposed Alabama coach DuBose as a feature of the halftime report. That's just under 80 seconds to go.
The tired Virginia Tech defense right now trying to hold on before halftime.
Jackson hit by David Pugh, number 71. And then Ben Taylor comes over the top. Touchdown throws to Santana Moss and Jeremy Shockey. Sandwiched around a 17-yard James Jackson run. That's for 21 points. And 2 turnovers for Tech. Michael Vick with a fumble and a pass interception.
You know, one of the things I think that has been a key to Miami's success offensively this year, I mean, they are the leading team in the nation in scoring offense, coming in at 45 points a game, has been Najee Davenport settling in at fullback.
Here's Dorsey. for Darrell Jones, and Jake Housewright was there, number 41, to disrupt it. Well, let's take one more look at the Bowl Championship Series standings. I know there was a lot of unrest here in Miami because the Hurricanes, despite their victory over Florida State earlier, dropped a notch. You, I think, not to put words in your mouth, that you think things will iron themselves out.
Well, I think it's a little too early to speculate right now. And the one thing you got to remember about Miami's schedule is the remaining games they have, their opponent's combined record is 21-9. So they'll pick up some points along the way if they can continue to win.
Beautiful punt from Capshaw. Roniel Whitaker. Aaron Moser is down to make the tackle at the 21-yard line, a 47-yard punt and 6 on the return.
I think as much as anything in this first half, Vern, is Miami has clearly won the punting battle. They have outkicked and outcovered Virginia Tech in the first half, and that has translated into field position and has helped in this 21-0 lead.
Andre Davis out of the game, re-injury of the ankle. First and 10 with 21 seconds to go.
Virginia Tech just going to take a knee and go to the locker room and try to regroup.
It is a difficult puzzle to solve. Nothing. Let's check in with Jill, who's with Frank Beamer.
Coach Beamer, what's your quarterback situation? Will you stay with Michael Vick in the second half or go with someone else?
I don't know. We need to get in here and talk with everybody and find out. I'm not sure right now.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot.
All right, Jill, thank you. Michael Vick came on late in the first quarter, obviously hobbled, and his team down by 21. We go back to New York with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman.
All right, Vern, coming up on the AXA Halftime Report, and we'll get you caught up on the day in college football, including the Gators grappling with Vanderbilt, after this word from your local station.
Catch Craig T. Nelson in The District tonight on CBS. It's all here.
I'm George W. Bush. Mac Mattingly is a decent, honest man who will work hard for common sense, conservative ideas in the U.S. Senate. Like an early reading initiative so no child is left behind. Rebuilding our military with better pay and morale for those who protect our freedom. And tax cuts for all taxpayers. America needs his leadership in the Senate. I would appreciate your vote for Mac Mattingly. Listen up! This is it. There are two ways to win this contest. One is going by the sports sheet and picking up an entry form. The second way is by going online. The objective: predict the score of the college football game of the week on CBS Atlanta. Oh, you'll be competing against other fans. Plus, you'll be going head-to-head against WGCL's Mark Harmon. Weekly winners will receive prizes from the sports shoe, including tickets to major Atlanta sporting events. So go out there and win. Go! Whoa!
Taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
What you can do to save the dogs and cats in Atlanta's animal shelters tonight at 11.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors, building futures.
Welcome back to the AXA Halftime Report with the score at the Orange Bowl. Miami 21-0 over Virginia Tech. Tim Brando along with Spencer Tillman. Well, you want to move up from 5th in the BCS? I think you got a good shot. Unfortunately for Virginia Tech, they're not playing with all of their guns. Obviously, Meyer having difficulty in starting. That option package not what it would be with a healthy Michael Vick.
Yeah, Frank Beamer's game plan involved the option today. One of the things that you missed with Michael Vick out of today's game is the option game. Dave Meyer's going to do the best he can. But watch this. When you run the option, this line is the path that the quarterback should be taking. But what you're going to see Meyer do is give a little bit of ground. He's going to wind up back here. And then he's going to make another mistake. As he comes down the line of scrimmage, see the separation between the defender and himself? Too much. You've got to attack that defensive end. As a result, Lee Suggs is not an option on this option play. That's tough.
Obviously, Todd Blackledge also pointed out when Vic got back into the game, he's not well enough to run.
It's accomplished offensively as what Michael Vick was unable to accomplish at quarterback because of the severely injured right ankle. He tried, or he did warm up before the game, and then with 2:53 to go in the first quarter, came on in relief of Dave Meyer, but was clearly not himself. This fumble, one of 2 turnovers in the first half when hit from behind, and then overthrew Emmett Johnson, his receiver, picked off by Edward Reed. So 2 turnovers. And the question, will Michael Vick be back at quarterback as we start the third quarter of play? Well, we'll provide an answer for you when we come back after this message.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Got it, man. So what do you want to talk about?
Cindy. We broke up. She was perfect for me.
Oh, what a catch.
Oh, she sure was. She just tore up my heart and stomped on it.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, really does. Oh, you guys are great.
Being there for a friend? Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Time to buy Montero Sport. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for an entire year on our best-selling Mitsubishis. Hurry, this deal ends soon.
You've got your Unix platform, you've got your NT platform, you've got your PC platform, you've got your PDA platform, and your legacy platform. You've got different companies with different platforms trying to get their platforms to talk to each other. And you've got a whole lot of stressed out, overworked, underpaid, underappreciated human beings who just want the whole thing to make sense by the time they get to the office. That's going to take some serious software.
It's a different kind of world. You need a different kind of software.
For dry, red eyes, Clear Eyes is a hit. It removes redness and has an ingredient to moisturize. Wow.
The difference is clear. Clear Eyes.
Still getting dandruff flakes? Maybe the problem is your dandruff shampoo. Try Neutrogena T-Gel Intensive Anti-Flake Shampoo. Fights flakes 3 ways. It may not be your first dandruff shampoo. It will be your last. Neutrogena T-Gel. It works.
Guaranteed low prices at the Home Depot mean that you can be confident that you're going to walk into our store and find the best price in town.
If you find a better price anywhere else, we'll beat that price. With no questions asked.
We will match it and then beat it. That's our guarantee. Day in and day out.
Everybody says they got the lowest price.
Not only do we have the guaranteed low price, we also have the knowledgeable salespeople on the floor to help you.
We want to be the best price, the best customer service, the best quality product. We want to have the best of everything.
You would be out of your mind if you shopped someplace else.
He's been surrounded by controversy. The NFL Today asked Bill Romanowski the tough questions in an exclusive interview with Armand Kateya.
Pill-popping, drug-addled, speed-crazed, cheap-shot artists. When you read things like that or hear things like that, what do you think?
Hear his story on the NFL Today.
Halftime in the Orange Bowl, Miami leads 21-0. And just moments ago, Jill Arrington had a chance to chat with Tech coach Frank Beamer.
Coach Beamer, what have you decided? What's your quarterback situation?
We're going to go with Dave Meyer. You know, we just can't call plays. Mike can't function the way he needs to, and we need a full-speed quarterback in there, and so we can call the plays we normally call. So we're going to give him to Dave Meyer the second half.
All right, will Michael play at all today?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you. Coach.
All right, thank you, Jill. A not unexpected decision at halftime. Michael Vick victimized by that ankle sprain. And Dave Meyer, the fifth-year senior, will come on. He started the game, was 3 of 6, but had problems running the option in particular. Carter Worley will kick off, and the deep men, Andre Johnson and Darrell Jones.
Well, the Hokies need a big play from their defense to start this second half. Try to get something positive going with a rested defense that was very tired in the first half. Spent a lot of time on the field. Let's see how they play coming out after the locker room after the halftime break.
Vick for the day, 9 passing yards, 5 rushing yards. The interception on the overthrown pass, and then the fumble when he was hit by Jamal Green and Damian Lewis.
He's such a great kid, you know, and a great competitor, and has been a great leader for this team, even though he's young. But he just can't get it done.
That one hits the goal post and will come out to the 20. First down and 10. At the 20-yard line, 21-0, and I take it you're not surprised, Todd, by the decision.
No, I'm really not. I mean, you know, Michael Vick is so dangerous when he can do the things that he does, and he has not been able to do that. He's not himself. Dave Meyer is a healthier guy. I still think the option, no matter who's in there, is not a good idea against Miami's defense, but Dave Meyer, I think, gives them the best chance of getting back in this game.
In the meantime, Miami opens on offense with a first down at the 20. Dorsey goes deep for Santana Moss, double coverage, up for grabs and knocked away by Willie Pyle, number 35. And Eric Green was also back defending on the play.
And I say this a lot with receivers like Santana Moss. Even if he's covered, sometimes it's worth it to throw it up and let him throw and try to make a catch. You see he got both hands on the football, and he was at the highest point when he tried to make the catch. But a nice job by Willie Pyle breaking up the play. You don't always have to have a wide receiver wide open for him to make a play.
Second and 10. There's the toss to Jackson going left with Davenport leading the way. Jackson, ball is knocked loose by Willie Pyle, but it goes out of bounds and will be Miami's. A 20-yard gain for James Jackson.
Nice job blocking on the strong safety, Corey Bird. Watch out here, Reggie Wayne with a huge block on Corey Bird, the best defender on this team. Wide receiver helping out his tailback, and that's what got James Jackson to the sideline. Did drop the football.
The run was good for 20 yards.
A gain of 20, and Jackson with 93 yards for the afternoon on 14 carries. First and 10 from the 40. Jackson and Davenport. The handoff goes to Jackson. This time he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. That being the 40-yard line. Now let's break it down statistically at the half. Third down conversions and passing yards.
Passing yardage is big. I mean, Ken Dorsey only had 8 completions in the first half, but they were for that many yards. That's 23 yards of completion. Third down conversions, terrible for Virginia Tech. And punting that didn't show up there. Virginia Tech only 27 yards on 5 punts. Miami 42.3 yards on 4 Eddie Capshaw punts.
Second and 9, Dorsey flips it to Davenport. Out to the 50 and across midfield down at the 48-yard line. The tackle made by Philip Summers, but that is a gain of 11 yards.
I made the point earlier in the first half. I think one of the keys for Miami's offense being successful this year has been how Najee Davenport has settled into the fullback position. He was a tailback, and they had kind of an overload at that position with Portis and with Davenport and with Jackson. And Will McPartland has had some problems staying healthy at the fullback. They were able to move Davenport over at fullback, and he has done a great job, both as a runner, a receiver, and a blocker, and has been very unselfish, and that has given Miami a lot more weapons in their offensive backfield.
They'll operate with a first and 15 after this delay of game call. We do have word from the bench, by the way, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty, clock violation. Will McPartland, who has had problems with concussions this year, tried to give it a go today and will not play again. He is the victim of illness. The concussions have caused a balance problem. And so McPartland is going to be absent for the remainder of the game. Senior fullback from Scranton, PA. First and 15. Santana Moss in motion. They'll try the reverse for Moss. Got one man who got back there. That was Corey Bird, who was not fooled at all, and he got penetration to the degree that forced Moss wide, and the tackle made.
By 5-7 McKenna.
This is well defended by Virginia Tech. Moss has had a big half. He's going to come back on the reverse, and Corey Bird is not going to make the play, but he's going to force him wide right there. And then McAdam is able to finish him off on the sideline. That's good team speed, good team defense, turning that into a nothing play.
Second and 19 after the loss of 4. Up the middle to Jackson, breaking tackles and moving to the 45-yard line. Down at the 45, that's a gain of 12. Today's Rigid Tools Scholar Athlete Award will go to Will McPartland of the University of Miami. Rigid Tools' commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of Miami General Scholarship Fund. There's the senior from Scranton, PA, out for the game. 3rd and 6. Ball at the 44, a 21-0 Miami lead. Jackson and Davenport in the backfield. Moss starts in motion. Dorsey, and he hit Ben Taylor. It's incomplete. Almost picked off by the linebacker from Bel Air, Ohio.
Well, he tried to go to the well one too many times this time. Going to the fullback, and Ben Taylor right on this one. Read it the whole way. Just couldn't corral the football.
Number 13.
Ben Taylor playing a little hurt, too. He sprained his ankle on Tuesday in practice this week.
Capshaw has had a good day. Sends this one to the right corner, and it takes the bounce out of bounds inside the 20. Excellent punt. Freddie Capshaw, the only player from Rock Springs, Wyoming, to ever play for the University of Miami. 21-0.
Gentlemen, the following scores are provided by...
This week in Suzuki Heisman Highlights. This year's MVP has got to be the V6 Grand Vitara by Team Suzuki. Check out this play. With his V6 quad cam engine and ladder box frame, he tackles that mountain like it was an anthill. That's power. With that kind of season, it's no wonder the Grand Vitara has been named the official automobile of the Heisman Trophy.
Now at your Suzuki dealer, vote for the Heisman candidate of your choice. Enter to win a V6 Grand Vitara and other great Suzuki products.
Honey, the one thing I need you to do today is open an Ameritrade account, okay? Yeah.
Call 1-800-AMERITRADE. Ameritrade. That's how you get somewhere on Wall Street.
With more of the hottest new releases guaranteed, nobody brings home the magic of the movies like Blockbuster.
Rent Frequency this week at Blockbuster. A voice from the past.
Dad?
A warning from the future.
Mom's gonna be murdered.
A man out of time. Frequency, starring Dennis Quaid. Rated PG-13. Guaranteed on VHS and available on DVD this week at Blockbuster.
Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home.
What's going on?
Hey.
Wow, this is nice. But I thought Stacy said if you bought new tools, she gets a new dining room set. Yeah, she did. So where are the table and chairs? You're standing on them.
Fine woodworking tools from Rigid. Name proven by pros since 1923. Take our planer with the power and performance to produce superior finishes on stock up to 13 inches wide. Rigid. Buy them at the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Undercover feds are being assassinated. Now Washington, D.C. is calling on its secret weapon.
Okay, Senator, I accept.
An all-new Walker. CBS tonight.
Michael Vick, the All-American Tech quarterback, tried to give it a go. He lasted for a quarter, obviously hampered by the ankle, so he has given way to Dave Meyer, the fifth-year senior quarterback out of Ramsey, New Jersey. Back on after playing much of the first quarter. He was 2 of 4. Here's the handoff to Suggs, and Lee Suggs down at the 13-yard line. The offensive coordinator, Ricky Bussell, part of the decision to go back to Dave Meyer at quarterback.
Yeah, they had to make a decision. I mean, what were they going to be better off trying to do? And as Frank Beamer said, a healthy quarterback in Dave Meyer gives them the best chance of getting back in this game. And Dave Meyer, again, he's a fifth-year senior, a guy who has played well in spots, and at this point now he can let it all hang out and just try to play the best he can, try to hit a few throws to go along with the running game.
Play fake, gets a block, rolls right, puts it on a rope, and completes it out at the 25-yard line to Ernest Wilford, the lanky 6'5" redshirt freshman. Well, the last 3 games, the Hokies have come from behind. See the second half, 263 yards, 26 points, and last week, significantly, it was Dave Meyer's controls. They had 3 touchdowns in the second half of the win over Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they were tied at halftime last week, but the 2 games before that, West Virginia and Syracuse, they were trailing at halftime.
Suggs to the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Dan Morgan.
And what happened last week, too, in the second half was that the rest of the offense really stepped up and played a higher level to help the quarterback, Dave Meyer. And that's what has to take place right now. The offensive line and Lee Suggs and these 2 receivers, Emmett Johnson and Ernest Wilford, need to get involved. They need to make some plays for Dave Meyer here in the second half.
Cullen Hawkins in at fullback now. Lee Suggs is the tailback. Suggs, the sophomore. Hawkins, fifth-year senior. Meyer, given time, fires it deep, incomplete. His intended receiver, Browning Wynn, slipped. Now let's find out what's going on with the Gators. Once again, here's Tim.
Very important in the BCS for Florida to keep rolling, but they're trailing Vanderbilt with under 30 seconds to play in the half. Rashae Caldwell catches the fade from Rex Grossman, so with just seconds remaining in the second quarter, Gators up 17-13 in Music City.
All right, Tim, thank you. 3rd down and 9. Meyer from the shotgun. Flips it back, finds Browning Wynn, and they had it set up perfectly, and he slips and falls, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, they had it set, Vern. You're right. There was an escort of offensive linemen over there. Good call against the blitz. Dave Meyer just not able to get enough on this throw, throwing it off his back foot. And Wynn not able to stay on his feet, but you can see Lambo out there in front, Matt Lair out in front. They had a nice play set up.
Robert Beasley to punt for the 6th time. This one will be taken by Santana Moss at the 40. Good downfield coverage by Brian Welch and Nick Sorensen. There's Sorensen, number 14. 35-yard punt, 2 on the return. Miami has it back with a 3-touchdown lead.
The automotive world is hyped for the V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki. Open road says it's eye-popping, as much fun to drive off-road as it is on. Automobile Magazine raves there's more sport in this sport utility. And Road and Track says it's powerful enough to kick sand in the face of every other four-door in its class. So come into your nearest Suzuki dealer and see for yourself why Motor Trend says the Suzuki V6 Grand Vitara must be on your shopping list.
The new economy won't be like the old new economy. The new economy will have new ideas. Ideas like profitability. With powerful e-business solutions, the new economy will be about how well you run your e-business, not just how well you promote it. SAP.
Want to start a family?
Right now?
I just got supplemental insurance. What's that?
Aflac.
Well, if we get sick, our health insurance won't cover things like lost pay or other expenses. This does.
What's it called?
Aflac.
I don't know.
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Suzuki, the Home Depot, Aflac, and by iOmega.
Early moments, third quarter from the Orange Bowl in Miami, and Miami leading 21-0. I think she's enjoyed homecoming and is continuing to do so. Ken Dorsey, sophomore quarterback. Mom and Dad made the trip back. His mother, Maggie, will be spending a month in Florida, up in Orlando, he said. Here's the handoff to Jackson. Reverses field. And moves it out to the 49-yard line. Nick Sorensen with the tackle. Well, the list of undefeateds dwindling as we get deeper into the season. Oklahoma, of course, 7-0. Virginia Tech and TCU at 7-0. And Tech very much in danger of losing in its first today. Here's the Aflac trivia question. In the 90s, what teams won the national championship outright with one loss? We'll let you know. Santana Moss. Najee Davenport. Najee Davenport rumbles toward the corner. In for the touchdown, Miami.
The comment about Najee Davenport settling in at fullback. You see, he has the speed to play tailback, but he settled in at fullback, and he really can run with the football. Not only block and catch, but an excellent runner and the speed to get to the end zone.
50 yards on the touchdown run after he got by Willie Pyle, and then ultimately Eric Green, the last man to have an angle at him. 50-yard TD. Here's Stevers with the extra point.
Vern, Miami came in as the highest scoring team in the country. I think they're not disappointing anybody today.
This is Cedric. Let's pretend he represents digital photos you took at a medieval fair. Nifty! Oh my! A hacker destroyed Cedric. Bye-bye, Cedric. Wait, it's a backup copy of Cedric you saved on an iOmega zip disk. Cedric is back. Take that, you hacker. Zip it. Zip it.
This week in Suzuki Heisman Highlights. This year's MVP has got to be the V6 Grand Vitara by Team Suzuki. Check out this play. With his V6 quad cam engine and ladder box frame, he tackles that mountain like it was an anthill. That's power. With that kind of season, it's no wonder the Grand Vitara has been named the official automobile of the Heisman Trophy. Now at your Suzuki dealer, vote for the Heisman candidate of your choice. Enter to win a V6 Grand Vitara and other great Suzuki products.
And now a look at this week's Suzuki Heisman Watch Update.
Tim Brando along with Spencer Tillman here in New York. He already has a national championship. Now he's gunning for the Heisman. Florida State quarterback Chris Weinke.
Well, Chris Weinke is 28, but he refuses to use his opponent's youth and inexperience against him, Timmy. Weinke is 29-2 as a starter. He leads the nation in passing yards with 2,969, and he's third in passing efficiency. Not bad for an old man.
Absolutely. We've got to play in the Bowden Bowl tonight. For more information on the Suzuki Heisman Watch, log on to cbs.sportsline.com.
Miami Hurricanes attempting to erase the memories of the last 5 years and climb back into the national championship game. And among those, watching from the sidelines, legendary quarterback Bernie Kosar. You
Can't help but notice the similarities between Ken Dorsey and Bernie Kosar either, the way they play the game. Their throwing motion, the tall, lanky build.
There's the kickoff. Todd Sievers, taken by Wayne Ward, number 42. Now tomorrow, the NFL Today at 12 noon Eastern Time, as we bring you a doubleheader. The NFL on CBS. And the halftime report. Jim, Mike, and Craig with scores and highlights as we begin the second half of the 2000 NFL season. 28 zip, first down 10 at the 27-yard line. Dave Meyer, play fake, and the reverse to Emmett Johnson. Tackle made by Cornelius Green. Among the highlights of the NFL Today tomorrow, Armin Katayan goes behind the scenes with Phil Romanowski for a rare look at the linebackers' obsession with getting ready to play. And he will answer charges about his controversial conduct both on and off the field. That's tomorrow. Second down and 11. Toss to Suggs. Another good defensive play. This one from Damian Lewis, number 92. Chatted with us yesterday about how he so respects Warren Sapp, now with Tampa Bay, and has chatted with him about playing here a couple of times.
Well, here's Damian right here, and a great first step. I mean, that's what he's blessed with, and then he watches the ball, and that's why he gets such great penetration. But, you know, he had a foot injury early in the season, and when you're a 300-pound defensive lineman, that's a horrible injury to have. But he is back to being about 100% right now as well.
Third and 10, Tech yet to convert a third down. Flip it out left side, caught by Ferguson, the fullback, and they have their first third down conversion, it would appear. The spot is at the 30, between 37 and 38. They might want to measure this. Oh. Mike Rumpf with the tackle.
Zone defense by Miami, a little four-man rush picked up pretty well by Virginia Tech. And Dave Meyer, the smart thing, it's not open down the field, dump it off to your outlet and see if he can make the first down, which Ferguson was able to do.
First and 10. Suggs again. And Al Blades again. Called his number any number of times today. Howard Clark, number 45, was the linebacker who got down low to make the initial contact.
And Al Blades, the unblocked defender, and they've just done it over and over every single play. They bring another guy in there that can't be blocked. One more defender than you have blockers. Al Blades is waiting, he's waiting, and there's Mr. Suggs.
8 tackles for Al Blades this afternoon. Fifth-year senior. Second down and 10. Play fake, quick flip, Ronald Moody, number 82. He's got some room. And is tackled high and thrown out of bounds by Howard Clark, number 45. Moody, a redshirt freshman out of Chesapeake, Virginia, on for the one play and then gives way to Emmett Johnson.
You know, one of the things that's really hurt Virginia Tech today on third downs, they came in leading the league with converting 53%, and a lot of that is Michael Vick scrambling. If somebody's not open, his ability to run. Miami, on the other hand, the best in the conference in stopping people on third down, and they've been effective today.
Andre Kendrick in motion. They'll give it to Suggs. He's got a first down at the 49 of Miami. Chris Campbell, number 48. Makes the tackle. Now let's go back to New York and get another update. Once again, here's Tim Brando.
All right, Vernon Todd, as you know, Ohio State and Michigan State both would like to be a part of a January 1 bowl. Here's Belisari as the Buckeyes, overcoming a 10-point deficit, now have a 7-point lead over the Spartans.
All right, Buckeyes up, and Miami is up here 28-0. On first and 10 from the 49. Given time, lost it deep for Johnson. That was very reminiscent of a big play in the come from behind against Pittsburgh last week, but this one doesn't work. And it falls short of Emmett Johnson. Dave Myers, we told you at the outset, a fifth-year senior. This is only the 17th game in which he has played. His third start ever. He was a hurdler in high school, one of the married young men on the team. His wife, Rachel, played soccer at Virginia Tech for 5 years. They are both in graduate school. He's working in sports management toward a master's degree. Sean Witten in on 2nd and 10. Suggs, nope, 3rd and 10. And he did have a moment to remember for a lifetime, Todd, last week in the come-from-behind win over Pittsburgh.
Well, it was a 13-play drive, and he was 4 of 5 for 38 yards throwing it. And so when his team needed his leadership and his poise, he delivered. The last one on a shovel pass to Andre Kendrick that set up the game-winning field goal with just 16 seconds left.
Carter Worley with the field goal, a 37-34 victory to keep Virginia Tech undefeated, but that mark in danger of evaporating this afternoon. Here comes the blitz, the flip out to Emmett Johnson, no catch.
No catch and not enough for the first down, even if he does make the catch. Emmett Johnson's got to take that another yard and a half and get the first down. Dave Meyer under pressure. The blitz is coming. It's a hot read against the blitz. Dave Meyer knows he's going to get hit on the blitz. He has to get rid of it, and Ed Reed on the safety blitz puts the lick on him at the end of the play.
Robert Peasley on the punt. Moss drifting over to his left and takes the fair catch at the 9-yard line. 5:14 to go in the third quarter. Coming up Sunday on 60 Minutes, a letter marked urgent usually means someone is in urgent need of your money. And no one plays that game better than politicians. That's one of the stories Sunday on 60 Minutes. 28-0. It was 21-zip at the half. 14-0 early on. That is when Michael Vick made his first appearance in the game, limping badly. After the contact, he threw an interception and a fumble. And is given away now again to Dave Meyer. But Miami has the ball. Here's Ken Dorsey. Clinton Portis, number 28. Tackle at the 9-yard line. Well, we mentioned that there's some visitors from California here, and they are with Jill Arrington.
I've made my way up to the parents section, and I found Ken Dorsey's family. We have Maggie, Adam, and Tom. Tom, what advice did you give your son coming into today's huge game?
Actually, I try not to give him any advice. Every time I do, I feel like I'm going to make him real nervous. So he's pretty well prepared. He's a pretty mature kid.
He sure is. He seems like he's very calm and poised out there. Made 4 huge plays in today's game. How proud are you of your son?
Oh, couldn't be prouder. I'm so pleased. And the whole team is playing wonderfully. I love it.
You're just as nice as your son. That must be where he got it. And you go to Florida State, but who are you rooting for today? That we must know, Adam.
I'm a Cane fan through and through.
All right. There you have it, guys. Back to you.
All right, Jill, thank you. From the Bay Area of California, Orinda, California. Clinton Portis, by the way, is limping off, coming from the near side. It's 3rd and 9 at the 10. Dorsey, handoff Jackson. Block from Shockey. Bill Summers catches up to him, and there's a flag thrown on the near side.
This is going to be for something after the play, away from the play. Reggie Wayne and Roniel Whitaker were engaged, and speaking of engaged, a couple players locked jaws up there. But the penalty flag was for action away from the play between Roniel Whitaker and Reggie Wayne, the wide receiver for Miami. It's been a tough day for Roniel today, and you see the little swing at the end of the play there by Reggie Wayne, and then an extra one.
The accusatory finger pointed by Roniel Whitaker, and the penalty well, It is a game of close engagement.
That's called being in your grill. Up close and personal.
Roniel Whitaker back at the 50. Awaits the punt on 4th down. Capshaw.
Boy, he's been good today.
Yes, he has.
He has really been solid.
Whitaker at the 46. Whitaker at the 49. Jarrell Weaver, number 58, made the tackle. A 45-yard punt and 4 on the return. All right, here's the answer. In the 90s, what teams won the national championship outright with 1 loss?
Florida State was 1.
Well, you got that one. They kept it in the peninsula. Florida was the other in 93 and 96. Very good chance it could happen this year.
96, Florida lost to Florida State in the regular season finale in Tallahassee and turned around and beat them bad in the Sugar Bowl with Danny Werfel under the control.
Wayne Ward is in a tailback now, giving Lee Suggs a rest, and Ward gets the handoff. Special team star inside the 45 to the 43. He's a junior from Plant City, Florida. There's Wayne Ward's statistical story. 21-year-old junior from Plant City, just over 200 pounds. 2nd down and 4. 28-0. Waning moments, quarter number 3. Johnson and Wilford split wide left. They fake the toss and give it off to Cullen Hawkins. And the redshirt senior told you a little bit of his story. We did the game in Boston College when he was a young teenager till he was 14. Cullen Hawkins, a potential nationally ranked mogul skier. And taken to a camp out at Mount Hood that was run by a buddy of mine, Parks Mully, and said he could have been a world-class mogul skier. Cullen opted for football, and now he is in his 5th year as a senior. His dad, Scott, here watching. His mom, Karen, back home in Pittsburgh. 3rd and 1. They give it to Hawkins, and that should be enough for the first down at the 39-yard line. Second game of the doubleheader. Alabama at LSU. They're getting set to kick off at 3:30. Everybody save one with 2 losses.
It's still wide open in the SEC West. And again, that's a big game today down in Baton Rouge. Alabama has dominated that series on the road. But a new year for Nick Saban and the LSU Tigers.
Hand off to Suggs, who's back in the backfield. Darts inside the 35 to the 33. Philip Buchanan, Edward Reed with the tackle. Clock unraveling, 1:38 to go.
Running the football has not been a problem today for Virginia Tech. They have continued to rip off good chunks of yardage running the football. Lee Suggs over 100 yards, doing most of that damage, but they just have not been able to complement it with any real significant plays throwing the football. The play-action passing game has been non-existent for Virginia Tech.
On 2nd and 4, the option, Meyer drops back. Nobody open now. He's got Hawkins. Cullen Hawkins in for the touchdown. There is a flag on the near side of the field. If it stands, it's a 33-yard touchdown. The flag is on the near side. Interference, bring it back.
I think they got Sean Witten, the wide receiver, away from the play on the interference. Take a look. Now, Sean Witten is going to be the guy guilty of interference. This is Cullen Hawkins. They're going to fake the option, which has not been effective at all, but this play works. Hawkins able to get down the sideline, and Meyer finds him. But that penalty came from completely on the opposite side of the field. I don't know where the pass interference was.
Cullen Hawkins had a 14-yard catch for a touchdown in the game here in 1998. Then injured, dislocated bones in his left foot that cost him the remainder of that season. This one, he erased. The handoff to Suggs. Comes left. At the 43, the tackle made by Jonathan Vilma, number 51, who is spelling Dan Morgan for the time being. Third down. Third down, 14, 28-0 Miami. Wilford right. Johnson left. And Meyer in the shotgun. Jake Grove, the freshman redshirt, is in its center. Across the middle, tipped. Intercepted. No, dropped. Matt Walters. Thought he had it.
A defensive tackle's dream to get an interception. He's able to drop off into coverage. Watch him right here. Engage the center, then drop back like a linebacker and gets both hands on the football, just not able to come up with it. I think the tight end, Derek Carter, able to slap it away.
That brings on Robert Peasley again. Moss will let this one go, and it is down by Wayne Ward at the 3-yard line. 41-yard punt.
Take a look again. Walters able to get both hands on the football, and when he tried to catch it the second time, Derek Carter got a hand in there to knock it loose. But good hustle play by the defensive tackle, Walters.
4 plays in excess of 40 yards today. The only one not a touchdown set up a touchdown run of 17. Robert Williams is the motion man. The handoff. Jackson to the 6. And we have put the period to 3 quarters. That is the end of 3 with a score 28-0. We'll return to the Orange Bowl right after this message and this word from your local station.
Looking to save more and spend less this holiday season? With the Chrysler Holiday Sale, you can do just that. Because now you can save over $2,300 when you buy a new 2001 Town & Country LX with 4.9% financing. Or choose up to $3,000 cash allowance when you buy a new 2000 Chrysler minivan. So take advantage of the Chrysler Holiday Sale today for savings that let you spend more on a real holiday priority, yourself.
In the yellow pages, falling. Now there's something better. Switchboard.com, a free directory powered by the internet. It's business listings, it's people search, it's maps and directions, locally and nationally. So before you pick up a yellow pages, drop in on us instead. Switchboard.com. Think outside the book.
While every cop in D.C. is backing up the FBI, a serial killer makes his move.
Anything out of the ordinary, he's going to start shooting.
The District, all new CBS tonight.
You know the legend, now get to know the woman. Jackie, CBS Sunday.
Well, who do we have here? It's Bailey, a typical pup with that unmistakable puppy breath. He deserves a happy life with balls to catch and faces to lick. But if he ends up in an animal shelter here in Greater Atlanta, he probably won't survive. What can we do to save our dogs and cats? Clear News is on the trail to a solution. If you want to help, watch tonight at 11 on WGCL-TV. Clear News. News that clearly matters.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Tahoe. It brings even more power to remote areas than ever before. Anything. The new Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
Let's wrap it up. Okay, 3 in a row and we out of here.
wrist.
Sorry.
That's okay. The first one's always the toughest.
Watch Clear News with Todd Shearer and Andrea Arsenault tonight at 11.
Back in the Orange Bowl for the start of the final quarter. Miami up 28-0. Scored once on a 50-yard Najee Davenport run in quarter number 3, and in control of this one. Michael Vick tried to go, played the second quarter, parts of the first, and the decision made because he was so hobbled by the injury by Frank Beamer and his staff to let him rest for the remainder of the game. Now Ken Dorsey, the sophomore quarterback, lobs it out for D.J. Williams to the right side, and that's incomplete. That'll bring up a second. Vern Lundquist, Todd Blackledge, along with Jill Arrington here. Let's talk a little bit about the BCS standings, which changed, Todd, from week 1 to week 2, and will again after this day.
Yeah, and there was a lot of talk in this part of the country, obviously, about that, because Florida State, which was beaten by Miami back on October 7th, jumped over Miami in the change in the BCS standings. Of course, Nebraska lost to Oklahoma last week and still stayed above Miami. But again, it's early. There's a lot of tough games for all of those teams left on the schedule.
Here's the toss to Jackson. Coming left. That's Ryan McKinney and D.J. Williams trying to help him around the corner. That'll bring up a fourth down. And it's not as if it's over for Miami with a victory today, assuming they go on to win this. Take a look at number 5, Miami. They've got Pittsburgh at home, at Syracuse, and then they wind up here the Saturday after Thanksgiving against Boston College.
Yeah, tough games here, tough game here, here and here.
Nebraska's got a game at Kansas State still on their agenda. Roniel Whitaker lets it go. It bounces out of bounds at the 50-yard line. That is a 41-yard punt. And nothing on the return. Early moments, fourth quarter. Tough day for the Hokies. Nice day for the Hurricanes.
Need sports equipment? Go to MVP.com. All the best gear, all the best brands, and insight to help you play your best. And right now, get free shipping on any Major League Baseball or World Series gear. MVP.com. Gear up for sport.
That Nakatani merger is brilliant. We got to move on that now.
Talk to me about the Nakatani merger.
It's big. Deals like that don't happen overnight.
I wonder what brought those two together.
You make that putt, Nakatani. You got yourself a deal.
See the story behind the numbers. Go to cbs.marketwatch.com.
Looking to save more and spend less this holiday season? With the Chrysler Holiday Sale, you can do just that. Because now you can save over $2,300 when you buy a new 2001 Town & Country LX with 4.9% financing. Or choose up to $3,000 cash allowance when you buy a new 2000 Chrysler minivan. So take advantage of the Chrysler Holiday Sale today for savings that let you spend more on a real holiday priority, yourself.
A letter marked urgent usually means someone is in urgent need of your money. And no one plays that game better than politicians. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
28-0. Miami leads it. 14:43 to go in the game, as the Hurricanes try and hand Virginia Tech its first loss of this year. Browning Wynn on as a tight end, number 93. Dave Meyer in a quarterback. Play fake. Deep in the middle of Browning Wynn. Catch is good inside the 25-yard line. Tackle made by Philip Buchanan, a gain of 24.
Pretty good performance by Greg Schiano's defense so far today, defensive coordinator. And this is a team that plays a lot better against the run than they do against the pass. They were number 2 in the conference coming in against the run, but last in the Big East in defending the pass. They gave up a lot of yards last week to Louisiana Tech, an all-throwing team. As we look at one of the Cane defenders down on the ground, Buchanan, at the end of that play.
It was Buchanan with the tackle on the tight end, Browning Wynn.
Watch the end of the play. Nice throw by Dave Meyer, and Buchanan, a much smaller guy, going up against the tight end, and looked like a little stinger is actually what it looked like, just the way he hit.
Yep, walked off unaided. Johnson breaks the huddle, goes wide to the left. Wilford wide right. First down and 10 from the 26. They slip it to Ferguson. Down to the 20-yard line. Thanks to the folks at Goodyear for today's overhead shots. It was 1925 when Goodyear first began coverage at major sporting events. Second and 4. Suggs stiffens. Straightened up by Dan Morgan, number 44. Senior from Coral Springs, Florida, native of Pennsylvania, moved down here with a family when he was 13 years old and is going, as we said earlier, to become the all-time leading tackler ever.
39th career start as the linebacker for Miami. And when he gets to where the ball is, he doesn't miss many tackles. That's why you lead a team and lead a career in tackles.
3rd and 4. Meyer has a man open. It's Wynn at the 1-yard line. Thought he had the touchdown, did not break the plane, but a nice pass and a nice catch.
Nice job of Dave Meyer using the play action, because what that does is it makes these linebackers hang in there. They're got to respect the run, and that opens up the middle of the field for the tight end, Wynn. It's cover 2 by the secondary, but the linebackers unable to get underneath that throw because they have to respect the run.
Tech, a team that has 34 rushing touchdowns this season. They are denied the 35th, at least for this play. So it'll be 2nd down.
Well, I think your percentages are pretty good if you give it to 22. I think he's got 17 of them this year, closing in on the scoring record all time for a season. Pretty good when they get in there. And again, that's because they've run the football so well.
Suggs is the deep back behind Ferguson. He gets the handoff, and he gets the touchdown. 18 touchdowns on the ground for the sophomore Lee Suggs in the 2000 season. He leads the country, and his team has tied a Big East record. And they're off the schneid, 28-6.
And I think that gives him a school record for most points in the season. I mean, normally that belongs to a kicker. And Shane Graham set it last year with 107 points, and I think that puts Suggs over 107 points for the 2000 season, all on touchdowns.
Went over left guard, got it in for the touchdown. Michael Vick. Applause.
Can I help you? Yeah, I'd like a dozen mixed.
I highly recommend the cream-filled. 5 stars.
Well, now, if you like the cream-filled, you should try the eclairs, popular in France.
By the way, customers who bought eclairs also bought raspberry jelly donuts and bear claws.
Can I interest you in a book on donuts? Amazon.com changed the way people shop.
I suppose you want these individually gift wrapped?
HP technology makes it happen.
In my day, we only had glazed.
The fact that I'm responsible for the upbringing of another human being is utterly ridiculous. How did this happen? Suddenly, I'm the one saying, don't touch the cookie on the ground. When I'm really only thinking 5-second rule. That cookie just hit the ground. That cookie is still good.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by AXA Advisors, Hewlett-Packard, Exxon, and by Volkswagen.
Gorgeous day in South Florida at the Orange Bowl in Miami. 28-7, the Hurricanes leading Virginia Tech. Suggs with a touchdown from a yard out. Here is Carter Worley's kick. Andre Johnson takes it. Down to the 21-yard line. Fumble. And Darrell Jones goes back to get it for Miami. Lee Suggs, a sophomore from Christiansburg, Virginia.
Over, and we're going to go back to something. Remember the touchdown to Cullen Hawkins? It was called off. It was for a pass interference penalty on Sean Witten. This is just a collision between Witten and Mike Rumph. And I think Witten's just trying to get out of the way, and he's called for pass interference. I think that's a bad call that, you know, at this point now, maybe you have a 28-14 ball game and a little different story here with 12 minutes left in the ball game.
That call negated the 33-yard touchdown pass and resulted in a Virginia Tech punt. Here's Dorsey airing it out. He's got a man. It's Santana Moss, and say goodbye. That one is for 80 yards.
I would say the ankle is just about 100%. A little stutter step and then the burst to run by Eric Green. And then the throw by Dorsey never breaks stride. Perfect throw and great concentration by Santana Moss. Big players make big plays in big ball games.
Second touchdown catch today. The pump fake and the 80-yard throw, Dorsey to Moss. It was perfect.
Imagine blue on 10 cups of coffee. Vortex, a new color of a new Beetle.
This is when a lot of people start to worry. Are they ahead or behind in the race for college, retirement?
Mike Jarvis, AXA Advisors.
Will they have enough to do the things they want? I tell my clients a good plan can get them through, and it's never too late to get started.
AXA Advisors is one-on-one financial help.
Okay, so you're a little behind. You can catch up. I can show you how.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
Now is the best time to buy the best on earth. Down-to-earth deals at your Honda dealer. Get no down payment on a new Honda ATV. Then take your pick of low monthly payments for the first 2 years. Or no payments and no interest for 3 full months, thanks to the Honda Card program. And with a new Foreman, Foreman S or ES, you can get an additional bonus. 300 Honda bonus bucks to spend at your Honda dealer. Down-to-earth deals happening now at the best dealers on earth.
The NFL today.
That's a bad call. On every frequency, he makes no sense.
They were going to knock you in the mouth. Sunday on CBS.
Santana Moss with his second long touchdown reception of the day. Fourth catch. Big factor.
Yeah, delightful guy, too. Really a competitor. It was fun to talk to him yesterday over at the facility. In the last 3 weeks, I mean, he has made big play after big play. Florida State game, he had 7 catches for 115 yards. Versus Temple, 241 all-purpose yards, 158 all-purpose yards last week. And Ken Dorsey doing a nice job getting the ball in the hands of the playmakers. He sees the field. He sees out here Santana Moss. Any possible slim chance that the momentum was switching to Virginia Tech, let's quash right now. One play, and let's end it. Perfect pass to Santana Moss, and another Hurricane touchdown. And Vern, I think of all the teams that I've seen this year, in person and on tape, I think this is the best offensive football team in the country. I think they have the best collection of weapons and the best ability to both run with power and also throw and make big plays in the passing game of anybody I've seen.
35 points thus far in this one. And they have a 28-point lead again. Now here's Todd Severs. Lee Suggs is deep to receive the kickoff. Edge to his right. Lets it go over his head. That will come out to the 20. Touchback. Yeah. Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, said to us yesterday, I think we have a decided advantage, our receivers against their cornerbacks.
He thought they were good at the safety position, but he thought there was a mismatch at the corner position, and he has exploited it. And he is definitely pulling all the right strings right now and ordering that pizza for after the game.
With an adult beverage, perhaps. First down and 10. Ward and Hawkins are in the backfield. They flank Dave Meyer, who gets the snap. 4-man rush. Meyer in and out of the hands of Wayne Ward, and then almost picked off by Chris Campbell. Well, remember those BCS standings we showed you? Look at this list of national scoring leaders and think about where they are ranked in the Bowls Championship Series standings.
And the reason that I think Miami is the best collection offensively is because they can both run with power, they have a good physical offensive line, and they can also throw and make big plays. You know, you got Oklahoma that throws it better than they run it. You got Nebraska that runs it better than they throw it. Florida State throws it better. Miami does both extremely well.
With Ward out of the backfield, tackled by Morgan, and Dan Morgan, the All-American linebacker, is now into double digits with that tackle. He's got 10 for the day as he closes in on the record held by George Myra Jr. 486 tackles, 4 away. He is a semifinalist for the Dick Butkus Award. Dad, a longtime personal assistant to Dan Marino. 3rd and 1. Ward gets 2, and that's a first down, Virginia Tech.
One of your favorite artists, isn't it? Puffy? Happy birthday to Puffy.
I used to do a lot of basketball games in the Garden. And I actually got a chance to meet Sean Puff Daddy Combs, and I thought, what a generational bridge this is. Oh boy. First down and 10. Meyer, incomplete. Philip Buchanan was defending. Emmett Johnson, the intended receiver. 35-7. Well, Miami trying to climb back into the title game. They, of course, won a national title in 1991. Went through the probationary period. Butch Davis came in. He's in his 6th year. And from the throes of 5 and 6 in 1997 to their 7th victory today. 2nd down and 10. Caught by Johnson. He's got a blocker downfield, Sean Witten. And Emmett Johnson heads for the corner. Caught from behind, but gets in for the score. 69 yards. Meyer to Johnson.
Vern, this is a game of inches because it was that close to being an interception, returned for a touchdown the other way. As it turns out, a 69-yard touchdown reception for Emmett Johnson. Take a look how close this is to being an interception as Johnson crosses the field right through the defender, and Emmett Johnson takes it to the end zone.
Extra point from Worley is up and good. It was Mike Ruff who got there at the end. It was Edward Reed who almost had the pick and the touchdown.
Great place. I like your neighborhood.
Thanks.
Oh,
All right.
Time to buy a Galant. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for an entire year on our best-selling Mitsubishis. Hurry, this deal ends soon.
I wish I was home, homewhere bound. Home, where my thoughts escape, and home, where my music plays.
New MSN Explorer. Everything you need to feel at home on the web, all in one place.
How many experts does it take to predict a market change?
Tickets, folks. I'm out.
Tax laws have changed. Should I be looking at my estate plan again?
Anyone who knows me wouldn't recommend a stock like this.
Oh, not again. This guy.
Investment strategies for you. Great. Just for me. And 5 million other people.
Thank you, PaineWebber.
When Doug gets a job teaching, I am Mr. Heffernan. Higher education hits a new low. Yeah! Ricky Lake guest stars on an all-new King of Queens Monday.
35-14 with 10:27 to go. On homecoming weekend for the University of Miami Hurricanes. Looks like half the graduated students are on the sideline. And a while ago they were throwing oranges on the field, signifying their desire to head into the national championship game at the Orange Bowl, which, of course, irony of ironies, will not be played in the Orange Bowl, but in a stadium once known as Joe Robbie. Here's the kick, and it's taken at the 7-yard line. Tackle made for 21 by Mike Donahue. Well, last night, Miami fans gathered on the campus of the banks of Lake Osceola. It's an unusual homecoming tradition started in 1926. Ibis, the mascot, watch what he does. Lights the ship. Kaboom! I don't know, whatever gets you through the night. Legend has it when the ship goes down, Miami wins. They won often enough to make you believe that happened. And that's today's Army heritage. Tossed out to Shockey, who gathers it in and is stopped up near the 26-yard line. Corey Bird. Now, Ken Dorsey came here from California. Talk with us about the great tradition of QBs.
This place just breeds great quarterbacks, and I'm just so thankful I have the opportunity. And when I got here, I didn't really understand fully what the tradition of the quarterback was until, after games you get a message on your machine from, Bernie Kosar or Steve Walsh saying good game, and, dropping a phone number so you can call them back. And sometimes I don't know if I can call them back or not, because these are guys who've played in the NFL and won Heisman trophies and stuff. It's overwhelming at times.
Now, Benny Testaverde, part of the great tradition of quarterbacks here. Gino Torretta, it goes back to George Myra Sr. in the 60s. All playing their home games in this historic building that was constructed in 1937.
Really has been a great tradition, and all those guys still keep tabs on who's the current player and how he's doing, where he's from. Said he talked to Steve Walsh quite a bit this week, and a lot of conversations with him. Talked about how Gino Torretta helped him early in his career, being another guy from California.
There's the flip behind B.J. Williams. Incomplete. It'll be fourth down. Well, mention the name of Bernie Kosar and mention the name of Jill Arrington. I bet she can chat with him right now.
I found Bernie Kershaw down here on the sidelines again. I know these players really appreciate your support, especially Ken Dorsey. What advice did you give him today?
Well, you know, we talked last time, Joe, at the Florida State game about, you know, Ken and his maturity, even though he's a younger guy. And, you know, I think he's doing such a great job in handling the pressure. And, you know, we talked at that game about, at the end of the game, that great 2-minute drive he had. And, you know, this is probably next to that game, probably the biggest game of the year. And with the BCS and the national championship at stake here, he was ready to go today. You can see by the scoreboard right now.
Let's watch it get back to the game.
All right, thank you, Jill, and thank you, Bernie. And what a class gentleman he's been over the years.
Doing very well for himself. I think he's making more money out of football than he ever did playing. Very successful business and guy here in the South Florida area. Still comes back to the Cleveland area quite a bit. I get a chance to chat with him now and then. But he was such a student of the game, and you can see that same kind of savvy and maturity and poise in Ken Dorsey.
Hokies will go from the spread, trailing by 21 with 8:33 to go. Staring at their first defeat of the season, their first defeat in 19 regular season games. That one is almost picked off, went through the hands of Lee Suggs and then through the hands of Chris Campbell, the linebacker for Miami.
They don't throw to their backs very often. In fact, last week was the first time that Lee Suggs or Andre Kendrick caught a pass. Lee Suggs caught 2 last week. That's a little too high and a little too hard for the tailback to handle. Dave Myers got to, when you're throwing the backs, get it down where they can make the easy catch and then do what they do best, and that's run with the football.
Second down and 10, 8:29 to go. Handed off to Suggs, and he is knifed down as he gets to the 28, brings up a third down for Virginia Tech. Well, this is actually it for Virginia Tech in terms of Big East play. Got all of their games out of the way early. They've got 2 games remaining on the schedule. Come back to Florida at Central Florida, and then they close it out at home against Virginia on the Thanksgiving Saturday.
Central Florida, pretty good record, only 5 years in Division 1A. The big win against Alabama last week that kind of sent that program into a real tailspin.
3rd and 5. Miami brings 4. In and out of the hands of picked off. Edward Reed has it coming left. He's got some help. Edward Reed strolls in for the touchdown. Flag is down as well. No flag. Return of a touchdown this season for the junior strong safety Edward Reed, and we will be pelted with oranges again.
Boy, Ed Reed was close to getting the interception that went to the touchdown to Emmett Johnson. This time, Derek Carter not able to hold on to the throw, and Edward Reed gets it, and then shows his running ability after the interception.
Please do not do this any further. It has now cost the Hurricanes a 15-yard
unsportsmanlike call on the crowd for throwing the oranges on the field. And they mark off 15 against Miami, which makes the extra point a little lengthier, 36 yards. And our referee just went bowling. Looked like he was going after the 10-pin with that orange.
I actually thought they were going to call unsportsmanlike on Ed Reed because he took his helmet off after the play in the end zone.
Steamers hooks the extra point try. It is no good. But that is one of the few things that has gone awry today. Here's the Exxon scoring summary. Let's find out how we got here. Santana Moss with a touchdown catch. Jeremy Shockey had one in the second quarter to make it 21-0 at the half. A 50-yard run by Najee Davenport made it 28-0. Miami in the lead. Lee Suggs got Virginia Tech on the board with a 1-yard run, his 18th rushing touchdown of the year. Santana Moss from 80 yards to make it 35-14. Emmett Johnson for Virginia Tech to make it 35-14. And then just moments ago, this tip ball returned by Edward Reed, 44 yards for the touchdown with the interception. And our score now 41-14, and a long afternoon grows even longer for Michael Vick. Those of you who did join us late, of course, know the story of Vick, injured last week, first half, hardly able to walk without a limp all week. He gave it a go in the second quarter, but then was taken out at halftime, giving way to Dave Meyer. We have another penalty being marked off against Miami, and I believe this is also for unsportsmanlike conduct. Might be time for Butch Davis to get on the public address. Instead, he's giving what for to one of the officials.
Well, that's a lot to ask of your head coach, you know, to keep 75,000 fans at their best behavior here at the end of a ball game.
So Severs kicks off from the 20. 41-14. Taken by Suggs at the 14-yard line. Nice tackle. Aaron Moser with the tackle. Let's find out how Syracuse is doing and go back to New York. Here's Tim.
Vernon Todd, Syracuse's offense has been up and down all year long, but you know, when Dee Brown gets it, generally good things happen. Yards after contact, you gotta love that. Syracuse takes the lead. West Virginia is driving. Remember, at the Carrier Dome, Miami in 2 weeks. They got to play Pittsburgh next week, right?
Now, you're right, Tim. It's not over for the Hurricanes, despite the convincing victory today.
And I'll tell you what, I watched Syracuse on film against Virginia Tech, and defensively, they are as good as just about anybody I've seen this year.
Wayne Ward gets loose out of the backfield and carries it around the 48-yard line. That's a gain of 20. Well, the NFL tomorrow, don't forget that story from Armin Katayan. Went back to Denver and has an interview with Bill Romanowski about his sometimes controversial lifestyle on and off the field. That'll be a feature on the NFL Today tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Time. First and 10, Virginia Tech. 41-14, under 7 to go. Meyer hit as he lets it go. Flag is down. Browning win the tight end with the catch at the 33-yard line. So Meyer was popped from behind. There was a pass complete and a flag. Al Blades with the tackle. That one against Miami.
Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator, again, has to be pretty pleased with his team's effort. A couple letdowns here late in the ball game, giving up a couple plays, but for the most part, a very solid effort. They kept slipping that extra defender down to defend against the run, outnumber the blockers of Virginia Tech, and then have played pretty good pass defense today against Dave Meyer.
Cullen Hawkins and Lee Suggs in the backfield. On first down and 10. Quarterback draw. Meyer gets a good break block from Hawkins and picks up 9 yards inside the 25. Down at the 23-yard line. Mike Rumpf, number 8. With the stop. Second game of the doubleheader coming up from Baton Rouge, Alabama. goes in to take on LSU in what really is a convoluted SEC West. All teams save Arkansas with only 2 defeats. So here's Alabama in the middle of this tumultuous season, having fired Mike DeBose, and they still have a chance to play for the SEC championship.
You know, and a couple weeks ago, actually, a couple months ago, everybody looked to this weekend as being such a pivotal weekend in college football with this matchup, and then the matchup tonight in Tallahassee between Florida State and Clemson. And the effects of Michael Vick being injured and the effects of Clemson losing to Georgia Tech last week have kind of diminished this weekend, but still a good win on the way here for Miami, and I would expect the same kind of win tonight for Florida State against Clemson.
The family Bowden affair. You really have to wonder, Todd, how long this ankle injury will linger for Michael Vick.
Well, I don't think he did anything to re-injure it today. You know, I think the brace that he had on was supporting it. He just couldn't do the things he's accustomed to doing. So he'll get another good week of treatment. Tell you what, whenever Michael Vick does go to the NFL, he's going to sign a very lucrative endorsement contract with Chapstick.
Cherry flavor. Flip it left. Cullen Hawkins has it. Hawkins had a touchdown grab taken away a while ago in the third quarter. And let's check in with Syracuse and West Virginia. Once again, here's Tim.
Well, Vernon, Todd, one thing that's interesting about the BCS scenario is that really Miami should be propped up by the fact the Big East is doing well. The once bottom feeders are doing a good job. Avon Coburn takes this one in. 27-24, Mountaineers in the fourth.
All right, thank you, Todd. 6:12 to go in this one. First and 10, Virginia Tech. Did I just call Tim Todd? I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
There's
Timmy B, Toddy B, it didn't all kind of work together.
I've been trying to avoid the goof of the week for a long time. Butch Davis, 6th year, 0-5 against Virginia Tech until today. Finally got the defeat of Florida State October 7th. So it's been a big year for the Davis tenure at Miami.
It was interesting. He said, you know, in the last several years, we've known how to beat these guys and what kind of plays we need to make. We just haven't had the players to make those plays, but they have those kind of players this year. It showed up on October 7th, and it showed up here again today.
That pass into the end zone for Browning Wynn, incomplete. Clock stops at 5:20 to go.
I think the other thing, when you talk to the Miami players and the ones that we got a chance to visit with, the underlying theme is this is a team that is very hungry to be successful, and a team that for the most part, their major contributors lived through the bad times. They lived through the losses and the humiliation and the losing streak, and now they are savoring every moment of being on top again.
Meyer flushed out of the pocket, baseball slide, and stopped at the 12-yard line. That will bring up 4th down with 5:10 to go. Well, you saw this is the best start since '94. There are a lot of comparisons that are made here between that season and this. They lost to Washington that year. They lost to Washington this year. They finally defeated Florida State then. They defeated Florida State now. Of course, it was in '95 when the sanctions were imposed and the spiral down began, out of which they're just now climbing. 4th down. Flip left. Knocked away. Chris Campbell, number 48, was there to deny the ball. Ball goes over on downs.
Chris Campbell is a guy who the last 3 or 4 weeks has played really well for this Miami defense. Here he is right here, eyeing up the tight end. Comes up to make the collision with the fullback. A nice read by Chris Campbell.
And Butch Davis, Greg Schiano on the Miami sideline. 4:36 to go, 41-14.
You know, Vern, so much has been made this week about the BCS and everybody trying to figure out and speculate why did Florida State jump Miami, what's going to happen to Miami.
Jackson coming left. Excuse me, Todd.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they know the only thing they can control is to take care of business and to keep winning games and to win them impressively, and that's what they've done today. I mean, this is still, even without Michael Vick, Virginia Tech is still the #2 team in the country coming in here with a great defense and a great defensive tradition. And right now, the Hurricanes winning 41-14. And I think there's just as good of a chance when this is all played out that the national championship game could be played in a rematch between Miami and Florida State before it's all said and done.
2nd down and 1. Dorsey continues in at quarterback. Jackson and Davenport are the backs in the eye. Here's James Jackson for the 1st down out to the 25. Let's take a look at the CBS data today. Take a look at the turnover story in the previous 5 years, going back to 1995. Particularly the last 2 years, Miami with 5 turnovers and 6. And today, Butch Davis said yesterday, our #1 goal in the ball game, protect the ball.
And they certainly did. And Kenny Dorsey has done a great job of that all year, except last week with 3 interceptions, but very smart with the football today. The running backs protected it. They didn't let Virginia Tech strip the ball out like they've done in the past.
Jackson, Jake Housewright, number 41, reached up and made the tackle. Of course, one of the things that probably handicapped Miami was the fact that they played McNeese State and Louisiana Tech and didn't get credit for strength of schedule. Now look at the Virginia Tech. Last week and today, 199 yards rushing by Miami.
Yeah, Pitt heard him throwing the football last week, didn't have the same strength running it. And again, Miami has the ability to do both. They can run with power, and they can make big plays throwing it to guys like Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne.
How about that penetration? Ben Taylor, number 40, got there and made the tackle of both players, Dorsey and Jackson.
Great competitor Ben Taylor timed the snap count perfectly, hit it on the blitz, nobody there to pick him up, and Dorsey very fortunate that that ball didn't pop loose because he had no idea that Ben Taylor was right behind him.
Looked like a green light sale at Walmart or Kmart, 2 for the price of 1. 3rd down.
I think Ethnic Sands is going to come into the game now, the backup quarterback. Dorsey may have gotten a bump on a hand or something there in that exchange at the end of that play.
Now time has been called while the training staff gives to Ken Dorsey.
Don't panic the client, but we've got to get out of RHP now.
What just happened? I'd like to introduce our new CEO and my kid brother, Tommy.
CEO!
See the story behind the numbers. Go to cbs.marketwatch.com.
Long Easy 316 Delta Bravo, flight at 25 north.
They get hired by companies like AT&T, GE, and Ford. They get training in over 200 real-world jobs. And they get it in the Army. That's right, the Army.
Undercover feds are being assassinated. Now Washington, D.C. is calling on its secret weapons.
Okay, Senator, I accept.
An all-new Walker. CBS tonight.
Ken Dorsey, back in the huddle, came over to the bench, received the attention of the medical staff, and said, I'm okay. So after the timeout complete, he is back in there, 3rd and 14 with 2:25 to go in the game. A rather gaudy figure, 26 yards per completed pass. Of course, you hit one for 80 and a couple 40, and that helps, huh?
And again, we talked about Virginia Tech not being able to give up the big plays, the easy big plays to Miami, and that's hurt them. It hurt them last week against Pitt. It hurt them in the first half against Syracuse. and it buried him today against the Miami Hurricanes.
4 yards, not
Fourth down with 2 minutes to go. And the punting unit comes on. Roniel Whitaker goes deep to return Freddie Capshaw's punt. Bobbled it. Loose ball. Picked up by the special teams play again. It's way too little too late, but Corey Bird got there after the bobble snap and gets the football at the 3-yard line.
No let up by Virginia Tech, and Capshaw, who's had a brilliant day, just took his eye off the ball and lost his concentration, and you see how quickly Virginia Tech reacts. I mean, they expect to score if they block a punt or do something like that.
Let's check in with Jill Arrington.
Ken Dorsey took a karate chop to the neck. It was just bothering him a little bit. He came out for a second, but he's back in. He's okay, guys.
All right, Jill, thank you. First and goal.
Didn't know Bruce Lee was playing for Virginia Tech. Snuck one in on him.
Timeout called by Miami. Ken Dorsey, all of 19. He looks it.
First and goal for Miami. So Larry Jones, he is at the guard. Touchdown, Miami!
Here's Walker left side. Walker fumble is good. West Virginia has done it.
Here's the snap. The kick is away. It is good. Boston College wins.
Last play of the ball game. To the tight end, Brominski. He got it down. Boston Eagles down.
This kick is in the air. It is good. It is good. One of the greatest wins ever.
Let that celebration begin. Another reminder of the important report from Armin Katayan on Bill Romanowski that will be featured tomorrow. The NFL Today on CBS at 12 noon Eastern. That leads the way into our doubleheader coverage of the NFL on CBS tomorrow afternoon. 41-14, first and goal. Ferguson and Suggs in the backfield. The toss to Suggs going left. With Ferguson's help, he strolls in. That is his 19th rushing touchdown of the season, and it ties a Big East record. 3 yards and the touchdown for the son of a preacher man from Christiansburg, Virginia, Lee Suggs.
The luxury that Virginia Tech has with Lee Suggs is he's got the power to run in between the tackles, but he also has the speed to get to the corner against a fast defense like Miami. I mean, he gives you the best of both worlds, running inside and outside.
Carter Worley's extra point is up and through. 1:36 to go. 20-point game.
Okay, you're next.
Yes, sir.
Get your hands in it. Get your hands in it. That's it.
We're gonna fight, fight, fight all day and night. Woo! Woo!
Okay, you made it. See you on game day.
Yes!
When Ray runs into an ex-girlfriend, a 25-year-old secret will be revealed. This was a big incident.
Cuban Missile Crisis was an incident.
An all-new Raymond, CBS Monday.
Oh, dear. Halloween on South Beach. Nothing like it. 41-21. Oh, dear. Today's player of the game presented by Salomon Smith Barney goes to Santana Moss. 4 catches, 2 of them for touchdowns. 1 from 42 yards out, 1 from 80 yards out. Watch in December when Salomon Smith Barney presents the CBS Sports College Football Player of the Year Award show.
It's really good to see him healthy again, too, Vern, because he started the season as one of the guys mentioned as a possible Heisman guy. He had the ankle injury early in the Washington game and went through a stretch of about a month where he just wasn't himself and, you know, took a lot of heat, a lot of stuff written and said about him that he wasn't having the kind of year that he should have had, but people not realizing how difficult it is for a guy who plays the game like him to play with a bad ankle. Rough reference Michael Vick.
Worley comes back to reset the ball. The Hurricanes expecting either the onside kick or the little pooch kick. So Santana Moss is the only deep man, and he's resting at the 21-yard line.
This is your all-state team, your good hands team, to cover this kick.
We had 77,000 here at the height of the contest. Here's the pooch kick coming to the near side. Out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Flag is thrown. The offensive leaders today, Ken Dorsey, no interceptions again. Jackson, 137 yards and touchdown. 10th 100-yard game for him in his Miami career, and Santana Moss with 154. And for Michael Vick, again, just to recap the story, you know about the injured right ankle. He did not start, came in with a little under 3 minutes to go, and his team down 14-0, but obviously handicapped by the ankle injury. Played until halftime when Frank Beamer and the staff decided to go back to the senior Dave Meyer. So Michael Vick sat the second half. 1st and 10. Jackson. Ben Taylor straightens him up. Number 40. Well, here's something else significant this season for this Miami team. When they played Florida State here, October 7th, they handed FSU its first defeat in 17 games. They are now about to defeat Virginia Tech and hand the Hokies their first regular season defeat in 19 games. The one defeat in the last year and a half, of course, came in the national championship game for Virginia Tech last year. Second down. Dorsey, Jackson. Remember back in '89, they stopped the Notre Dame winning streak at 23, Nebraska, Oklahoma, UCLA, and the 17 of Florida State. And now the clock winding down on a very satisfying victory for the Hurricanes of Miami.
And you really have to tip your hat to Art Keough, the offensive line coach for Miami. They did it against Florida State, 0 sacks for the Seminoles. They did it against Virginia Tech, another aggressive defense, 0 sacks. Ryan McKinney and Joaquin Gonzalez, the 2 tackles, another great job on the outside. LaFleur, Romberg, and Bibla inside. A very good Miami offensive line.
Matter of fact, they have now given up 8 sacks in 8 games. Pretty darn good average. Hurricanes win it. And they win it big by 20. Michael Vick and the Hokies fall to 8-1 for the season. Frank Beamer, Butch Davis meeting at the center of the field. 41-21. That's the first game of our doubleheader. Coming next for all of you from Baton Rouge. Alabama goes in an SEC West battle against LSU. Santana Moss, 2 touchdowns. 1 from 80, 1 from 42. He leads the way as Miami wins it. For Jill Arrington and Todd Blackledge, I'm Vern Lundquist saying goodbye from the Orange Bowl. The final again, 41-21, Miami.
Red 79, blue 18, hot, hot!
While every cop in D.C. is backing up the FBI, a serial killer makes his move.
Anything out of the ordinary, he's going to start shooting.
The District, on CBS tonight.
The King of Queens, Mondays on CBS. It's all here.
The 3.2 TL from Acura.
My husband Paul liked Zell Miller, but one of his dearest friends and political allies was Mac Mattingly. They talked every Sunday after church about the issues they thought were important to Georgia and our nation. If Paul were here today, he'd wish Zell well, but he'd work day and night to elect Mac to follow in his true conservative footsteps. So on behalf of my husband and me, I'm asking you to please help elect Mac Mattingly.
The arena is all around us. In the cities, in the fields, these mighty warriors give their all in so many ways. It is for these hardy souls that Ford Truck Season was for. Right now, lease Ranger for $199 a month. America's best-selling compact pickup, only $199 a month. Your time is at hand. Visit your Atlanta area Ford store and enjoy the fruits of truck season.
Here's 3 reasons to buy New Balance shoes at the Sports Shoe. New Balance makes shoes for the entire family in different widths and different sizes. When you spend good money for a performance shoe, it should have a performance fit. That's why New Balance shoes come in a wide range of sizes and widths to fit your foot. The Sports Shoe has New Balance in widths from AA to 4E and sizes from infant to size 20. For widths and sizes in New Balance, nobody outruns the Sports Shoe.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution High School Sports Show, Sunday at 11 on WGCL-TV.
It's an SEC showdown. It's an SEC showdown. Alabama, LSU, the Home Depot College football on